What is going on, everybody? Antonius the Gamer here, joined by my co-host Mikkel Smith. We are here for episode 61 of the Press Start Select podcast. Mikkel, how are we doing tonight, my brother?
Doing very well, man.
It's
Doing very,
good.
very well. Glad to be back. So add my perspective to some things.
Oh, for sure. Like I was telling you, like there was, before we started recording and during the group chat, I said there were certain things I'm like, I know Tim has some thoughts about these things. Before we get into the topics for tonight, is there any quick thoughts you wanted to give about anything that was shown over the showcases last week? That you didn't really get a
Um,
chance to elaborate?
Marvel Fighter, man.
Mm,
That is something that I'm very, very happy to see. I'm glad Arc Systems is doing it.
mm,
I feel like they were the best man for the job. And ironically, I was playing on Fighter Z the other night. I was like, yeah, you know what? Yeah, this this was made for this.
mm.
Like there was so many connections to it, and then like I love the anime style, and I think that's going to open up a lot of ground for creativity. They've already, for the first trailer, they already did pretty good in terms of like, okay, what can we expect in terms of roster like variants, like
Mm,
variations, like what people is coming from. Like, I'm just glad a different form of Ghost Rider is in.
yeah.
Like, I mean, I could tell, like, yeah, like this is a very critical thing compared to Marvel versus Capcom, and especially and I guess I'll talk about like Marvel vs. Capcom like 3 and Infinite. Like, yeah, like, of course they had to choose a different Ghost Rider, and I'm glad that they chose the one that I actually like,
Mm,
on the one with the Charger. So like, I'm really looking forward to that. You showed one X-Men character, so people are like, thank
please.
you so much.
Yeah.
So, like, just to get all the confusion. Let's get all the
Yes.
confusion out the way.
Mm,
Captain America, Iron Man. So you have your Avengers Essentials. You showed a villain. Spider Man. You already know a certain black guy, a black
it's not too
Uzi.
far. Yeah, not too
Fella's
far behind.
not too far behind, but it looks great, man. It
Mm,
literally looks great. I'm really looking forward to see what they do with that. So my eyes will be on that.
okay. I mean, that was the thing we spent the longest amount of time on last week because we felt the same way of like, this is just like a pairing in heaven, almost like out the gate from the reveal trailer. It just looked amazing. Is there anything? I asked Jory this. I asked you this also. Is there anything that would stop it from being a day one buy for you?
Honestly, no.
Mm,
For me, no, no. I mean, I do feel like they would definitely do a beta for this. I do feel like this is something that they would definitely do an online beta for, like
hmm
to really test and see how this holds up. Because ArtSys is also a company that likes to do things right.
Yeah, yeah.
That's They've been doing very good by their fan base as of lately with the last few titles that they've done. So that's what I said. Like, they've built a representation. Like, yes, we respect the people,
Mm-hmm.
and they had little dark moments here and there, but no, their track record as of lately, like, and I would say lately after the past like 3 years has been good.
Yeah, I
So
agree.
so I think, like, just do the online beta test, really, tap into that creativity of like characters that you want to bring in, and just draw people in, man.
Yeah,
Just
I
draw
mean,
them in.
there's certain things I think they could tweak along the way. Like, I think this would be a good game for them to get better at alternate costumes. Like, please, finally, like that was one of the things that we were always talking about with fighters. Of like, can we get another outfit for some of these characters,
So
please?
technically, the only person who had a different outfit was Vidal, but that was a haircut.
All right, and Broly, technically, right? He transforms out of his armor. Yeah, that's some. I think that's definitely a place of improvement. But like you said, just based on what they were showing initially, I'm like, oh my gosh, this looks great. This looks great. It looks great. It looks great. So yeah, that's I'm day one buy. Like we're usually very critical about things on this podcast, as people may know. But I'm like, this one, like I have no nothing negative to say that I've seen so far. Um,
Soon as that pre-order link ready,
Up, bro, for real. What perks do I get? Sign me up. All right, bro. Let's get into the topics of tonight. We'll go with this one because I think it's going to be pretty quick. Just wanted to get your thoughts on it. After all the unnecessary controversy, after all the back and forth online, after all the rallying up the fans and getting them all upset, Borderlands 4 is gonna be $70. Won't be 80, it's gonna be 70. And apparently, from the closed door previews that have been done so far, it's supposed to be pretty good. It's supposed to be like a fairly good, almost like maybe not a one for one return to form, but close to return to form for the franchise. What do you think about how that's been kind of rolling out and the price confirmation?
It was definitely a gamble. It was definitely a gamble for me because, like, I get it. There is a fan base for that game. I'm
Mhm.
not trying to say like he's like a B tier fan. Like, no, there's a very hardcore fan base for that game. Like, there's a lot of people who are in love with the lore, the characters. So, like, he has like loyalists within that realm. It's just, I just felt like there was just too, like, you're trying to stir the pot too much
Mhm.
with your statements, like, because you got to realize in this economy, things could shift like that.
Yep.
$70, like I $70 is a bit cringe for me because especially since like Borderlands has always been them titles, and I would say especially ever since like 3,
Mhm.
like they've just been heavy on, oh yeah, get the ultimate pass, get the collector's edition pass, get this pass,
Oh, I mean, they
and
rolled those
then
out
of course
with
all
the
of
announcement
those
too.
cease over that amount. So it's like you
Yeah.
mean to tell me base game is 70, so how much is the other stuff gonna cost? It's like, bro, like, so you mean tell me these things are about to be like $120 if you want the full set?
Yeah. I think the collector's I'll check while you're talking. I think the collector's edition was announced at like 110, I want to say.
Bro, like, and then when you look at it, it's like for what? Like, is it like story DLC or is just all cosmetics? Because that's a whole nother thing. Like, do not tell me like I'm about to pay an extra $30 to $40 for different shades and colors. So, I mean,
I
but
mean, the
yeah,
guaranteed season pass, right?
yeah. I mean, I know like most of the time they do like story DLC, and I do that is something that they're very, very, very good at, I would say.
Mhm.
And then of course adding a character here. But I mean, we'll definitely see how his turn goes by because remember, like I said, like it's a slow build. It's a slow build. Like even in terms of like I would say like I can't even remember when was the last time they released anything Borderlands. I don't think the time window was that different. That like, oh yeah, here's Borderlands 4. Like people have not been starving for Borderlands
Yeah.
4. So it's kind of
Quick
like,
correction though. The collector's edition is $150. I didn't mean to cut off your point, but I just
bro,
like, oh, okay, that's worth interrupting real quick. 150 for the collector's edition, bro.
$150.
Yeah. Yeah.
Whatever. More power to them, I guess. But it's like, but then that's the crazy thing because Borderlands 3 had 2 yearly season passes. So like you mean to tell me, so all right, year one, and I'm speaking hypothetically, so year one, 150. So if they just announce a second whole year, like so you mean to tell me like this game probably gonna cost you probably like over a full fledged game
Well, yeah, for everything, year
over
two,
two
all the,
hundred
yep.
dollars?
Hmm.
Bruh, like this is becoming a very expensive hobby.
Just swipe
Very
and forget,
expensive,
Tim. Just swipe and forget. Like, think of all the hours of engagement and content you're getting for your money.
I guess.
I mean, that would be like the PR speech, right? Of like, think of all the content we're providing you. It's like, I mean, I hear you, but at the same time, nah. Like, I've never in my time of growing up gaming thinking that I'd be like, yeah, $150 for like something that I really want game wise. Like, nah. Mm-mm.
Very well then.
Yeah. In my mind, though, I'm like, you know what? They probably wanted to charge 80, and because of Randy Pitch for his stupid comments, like this is coming out of your salary. We're gonna cut it to $10, and every $10 we cut is coming out of your bonus since you want to talk so much and can't put your phone down.
No, that's very true. Like, as they say, like, no Twitter. No
Yeah.
Twitter is the
Put
first
your phone down.
don't say a word. But man, that is a lot.
150, bro.
That is a lot. I mean, like I said, at least the early previews are getting good results. I mean,
Mm,
we'll see what the full-fledged reviews are like. And then also, you can't really consider reviews. You also got to see what is the gameplay like when people get their hands on it, because people
mm.
are going to upload it. So definitely see, like, what is, the crowd reception of like streamers and everybody else in the hands of it. So I mean, we'll definitely know as things go by.
For sure, for sure. I mean, hopefully it's a return to form for them. Like, I think the Borderlands franchise is not something that needs like a 5 or a 6 per se, but I'm like it does have its place in the gaming space. I think it just needs to kind of stick to what works. Like not as a knock, like yeah, get rid of some of the toilet humor, keep some of the mechanics involved, and that's it. That's all you like you said, like you have a solid enough fan base of like you're will always do relatively well for this franchise. Just don't stop, like stop kind of like overreaching of like, oh, we're this, we're that's like, hold on, oh, hey, oh, wait, we ain't say all that now. We ain't say, like take your Grand Theft Auto ambitions and let's reel it back in. Like, hold on. Take it easy.
Yes.
But speaking of Grand Theft Auto ambitions, Tim, this was a game that one at its reveal, out of the three of us, you showed the most initial interest in. Um, Especially given the driver meets Grand Theft Auto elements. And as time went on, the previews got worse and worse and worse and worse. And then we were like 2 weeks out from the game's release, and you got the CEO saying that it's almost like fake news about the bad previews. Like these people are being paid off to give bad faith previews about the game, and then the game drops, and it's just as bad as everyone was saying about the previews. And for those who don't know, the game I'm talking about is Mind's Eye.
Um, it was unfortunate, yes,
Hmm.
but it goes the fact, man. These open world games. I mean, I don't even know if it's like a cyberpunk s curse or something,
Hmm.
but it's coming to prove that, bro. Open world games, like especially since people want more realism, they want more heavy graphics. Frames per second. Like it takes up a lot.
Hmm.
Like there's so much things loading on your screen that people are just not realizing. Or your interactions with this car, your interactions with the person across the street. If you fire this light photon bullet or something like that, it's just there's just so many things going on
Hmm.
as of now. And and I'm getting, everybody's trying to really max out this hardware to really showcase what is the power of these systems. But I do feel like, developers need to take more time. Because first of all, like, yeah, we saw that one trailer, and then I think barely 2 months passed, like, oh yeah, it's about to be out. It's like, but
Yeah.
where's the build up? Where are the developer diaries?
Hmm.
Where's like a demo or something like that? Like, can this demo even hold up? Because I remember back in the day, we used to get those things for open
Hmm.
world games. You give us a little hub section, you could go from this point to that point, have fun, do a couple of missions, and see how you feel.
Yeah.
But it's like it's none of that no more. Everything is just trailer print to the streets.
Yeah. Please buy at full price. What? Like, what you mean?
And we're seeing like the results of that, man. And the actor, he's the same guy who did he was played the main actor in Mafia 3.
Mm.
I really like his character and what he brings to the table in terms of story narrative games. But it's just very unfortunate that the product is falling apart. And then not everybody's like a No Man's Skies or even CD Project Red to see it through.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I got to give them their credits. They saw it through. They was like, hey, man, something happened, but we are committed to the journey.
Mm.
They showed that. Yeah, give you a couple of patches, some updates, some more patches, and it got ironed out. And that's what I'm saying, bro. You need time.
Yeah.
You need time.
I don't know if it's like, I mean, it's they're definitely like Mind's Eye is definitely an indicative of like a bigger problem within the industry of like there's a part of me where it's like if I'm giving them the benefit of the doubt and saying that they wanted to put out an actual quality game, it's like you said, they needed the time to kind of iron those things out. So in the good faith side, to me, it's like, okay, we're starting to see this ongoing symptom of companies underestimating their development windows of like, yeah, we can get this game out by September, and you hit August, it's like, yo, we still can't get that car to stop, like popping in on the rooftop every time. It's like, then you need to 5 years into the hardware. I feel like it's like, at what point do we find that balance of there's some jank, yes, but not game breaking jank? Like that's I feel like it kind of swings on too wide of a pendulum of like either the game is running and functional, maybe has a couple of nitpicks here and there, or it's a mind's eye where it's like people's faces are melting, NPCs are collapsing in the street. You can't, like it's just your car is just swerving. Like it's like there's certain things of like how did this? What steps are we missing here? Is there not enough like Q&A? Is there not enough like testers prior to the game coming out? Like what's this key thing that seems to be happening over and over and over again on this current gen of software?
And then the crazy thing about it is it's published by the Hitman developer.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like, well, bro, like you just built this whole Hitman universe, 1, 2, and 3, and then and I get it, they're moving on to another project, but it's like as a publisher, like where was your eye on this game, like in
Yeah.
terms of like quality and what is being pushed out? And it's kind of like, yeah, what are you attaching yourself to? Like, because I get it, the actual developer is somebody I never really heard of. I think they're called Build a Boy
Build a
something.
Rocket Boy. Yeah.
Build a Rocket Boy. I never really heard of this particular developer.
Mhm.
But I mean, obviously, they were given a chance due to XYZ, but it's like, yeah, the publisher is like, yeah, like what's up with this?
Mhm. And now you got to spend even more money on the back end trying to get it to a running place. And I don't know, bro. Again, I've said this before. Kind of got killed in the comments when I said this about Stalker 2, even though obviously those under different circumstances. I'm like an unfinished game in this day and age. I think the audience patience for that is over. This whole thing of like we'll fix it in time, like to your point about CJ Project Red, it's like look at what they had to do to get people back in the goodwill of Cyberpunk, bro. They had to give you like a top tier, pretty much a brand new game within the game with the DLC to get people back over. Like that's how much people were upset, and rightfully so. Like it's just certain things of like this whole thing of like, and I said this to Jory in passing last week of like, we're the only, maybe not the only, but one of the only entertainment aspects where a company can kind of get an incomplete product out the door. It's like you're not gonna go get a pair of AirPods and they only sell you the left AirPod because yeah, we're not done with the right one. It's like that doesn't happen with movies. It doesn't happen with TV. It's just like games are the things where it's like, yeah, we're not done. We'll be patching it, but please pay full price. It's like what? No, 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 not anymore. Like you said, not in this economy.
Yeah, yeah, because bro, I mean, because first of all, the price points are different. And it's just people's faith, man, people's faith and where they're investing into, because especially since a lot of people, especially since a game with this at the scale, they're thinking like, oh yeah, long term, like how many hours I'm going to get out of it, and it's like if it's a buggy mess, no.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
to be honest, I remember I made comments about the new Mafia game, like how it's more of like a story
Mhm.
linear looking, because like yes, bro, like they had issues with Mafia 3. The world was just so big,
Yeah.
like yeah, it got certain things got ironed out over time. There's still one or two gameplay bugs to this day, which is unfortunate, but then I think they were having like studio issues at that time.
Hmm.
But they got into good grace with people's faith, with the Mafia 1 remake. um 2 was just a port, so it still had the same glitches.
Hmm.
But yeah, um yeah, I think that's the reason why they said like, hey, we're going to take a different approach with this one, which kind of does make sense because they are starting to see like, yo, like these things are requiring more muscle and power. And so it makes you even go back into like other things like, bro, do we even have the team size to take care of all of
I
these
don't
things?
know. I
And
don't
that's the
know.
thing people are not realizing.
Because
Like,
the rumor I heard was that the Build a Rocket Boy team, I don't know if all the team was put on Mind's Eye, but I think the Build a Rocket Boy studio has 400 employees. So that's more than enough to kind of like, if all hands were on deck, which I don't know, like you would think like you had the staff. It's not like you were like, it wasn't a bare bones team by any stretch of the like of imagination.
I mean, you won't know until the articles
Until the
go out.
documentaries drop, yeah.
Yeah.
Like with that one that dropped last week about Dragon Age, the Vanguard, everything that went on behind the scenes. Like, well, I could have took. the writing was on the wall of like, yeah, this game used to be this, and then they turned into that, and then they turned it back into this. And it's like we could tell, like this, we could tell this game went through a lot. There was a lot of different versions of the Veilguard. Like that part was clear from the final product we received, and
Mhm.
it kind of goes back to something we preach on this podcast all the time of like, you gotta find that balance between the suit and the creative. It's you guys need each other. It's a symbiotic relationship of like you can't have the suit making too much money decisions, and you can't let the creative go full Kojima. Go full no more of like it can't just be creativity like unchecked. Like you gotta all right, where do we find this
Yeah.
balance? Respectfully to Kojima, of course. I'm just saying, like, everyone said it like the man needs an editor. Like 20-minute cutscenes is a little like you need someone to be like, hey, but hey, it's a game. What else did I have written on this list here? Something that I didn't put on the pre-show, but yeah, I remembered it right before we started recording. Is Final Fantasy falling off?
I think it's going through a level of fatigue, I would say.
Hmm.
Like, when you really look at it, bro, like, I do feel like they've checked all the boxes in terms of what people want. Like, people have been asking for years for like a remake of Seven. Like,
Mm-hmm.
for some reason, that's just the mecca in people's minds.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I just feel like, whenever they wrap this up, that's it. You know, Lightning had her time, which was good for the PS3 era. This other Clive guy, it felt like a decent placeholder, I would say, to a certain degree.
Mm-hmm.
But I just feel, to be honest, I feel like what would actually be a good last little hoorah would be like bring back Dissidia. I've been saying that, bro. Like, just bring back Dissidia for like a one last good hoorah.
Mm-hmm.
Just like Square Enix, like if let's just move on to other things, man. Because we love these childhood stories for what they were, but then really start to like develop your new IPs. Like I get it, a lot of people feel think Forspoken wasn't the best, which was true,
Mm-hmm.
but it had the groundwork for something else.
I agree. I agree. I'm like the story didn't help, but I'm like the blueprint of the gameplay was not the problem. Like there you could tell like okay, there was some creativity here for sure. But
Yeah, so I mean, you just gotta start giving your faith to other things. You gotta really start to say, like, bro, we can't ride this down to Final Fantasy 25. We can't.
yeah, yeah.
You can't. It's just like the series. Yeah, I get it. Like, when there's new stories for different iterations, but when you really look at it, it's like the palettes are very similar. The
I
palettes are becoming very similar.
Yeah, I agree. I think too, like to your point as far as like the eras, I think if you look at the eras of the Final Fantasy characters, even though you could argue that some of the less popular ones may have had better stories, like I've heard Final Fantasy 6 actually has a really good story.
Mhm.
Nobody really talks about it as much as definitely not as much as 7, but 8 or 9, like it doesn't come up as much as those. And I feel like in terms of the bigger popularity of Final Fantasy, a lot of the characters that kind of crossover are all kind of variations of Cloud, right? It's like we've joked about Lightning being the female version of Cloud. Squall is like the emo version of Cloud, like if that's even possible. Like a lot of the popular characters have kind of lived on are just variations of your most popular character in your franchise. That's not a sign of true innovation. Of like
Like, for example, just like how every generation of Pokemon has like a Pikachu looking clone.
yes, yep. Even a Pokemon wearing a Pikachu bag over its head, like that's how bad it's gotten. How many more evolution steps we're gonna get to Pikachu? We had Pichu. Now what's before that? Like, yeah, bro. I just Final Fantasy is a franchise that's always had a close place in my heart. I've enjoyed most of the titles very very much. It's just when I see that 16 wasn't received the best, not even by us. You're seeing that Rebirth didn't even really start selling that well until they hit PC, which is very telling of like your biggest Final Fantasy is still not selling, like even as a console
'Cause you know what it
exclusive.
is, bro? It was the whole episodic thing, like,
Mm-hmm.
all
Mm-hmm.
broken up type stuff, like, because you're already telling people in their minds, like, "Oh, so this is not a complete game?"
Fair. Fair.
So like you're already putting people's minds like, all right, well, let me just see to the complete collection. But
Yeah.
then it's like, but bro, years apart, it's just like, well, then some people are just like, well, bro, I would just wait anyway.
Yeah. The development cycles of these games is about that long regardless. So 2027 for the complete collection? Sure, why not?
Yeah,
Like
it's like, all right, if you're gonna take up all my gigabytes, just do it in one go.
yeah.
I
No.
mean, so we'll see how that works out over
Mhm.
time. But then, like, yeah, I feel like that because it's technically not really episodic, but it still is.
Yeah. I understand what you mean of like you're essentially playing to a cliffhanger to another cliffhanger. Like, like that's you're essentially waiting years between cliffhangers. Like I get it. I get it. You know, like you've definitely have seen my rants about the Spider-Verse thing of like, why did you not just do it all at one go? And then, now the next one's not coming till 2027. Like, why? Why? Yeah, I get it. I get it. Another thing I didn't get to jot down, but definitely curious to get your take on it because I feel like it was something that you prophesied into fruition of like, yeah, Tim said it, and that's exactly what happened. The Nintendo Switch 2 is the fastest selling console in history. And not only is it the fastest selling console in history, but all of our favorite content creators who were telling us for weeks all the things that Nintendo was doing, all the new bad practices and bad faith things, we're all talking about, well, I got one, but I just don't think it's like, fam, what? What did you? He's like, oh, I guess I'm just part of the problem. It's like, no, 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 no. You do not get to get the click revenue of bashing this console only to turn around and buy it day one. It's like, we did not need your hands-on review of the device you've been, downplaying this past month. I'm like, I already know if you, me, or Joy were in that same positions, even with the resources, we still wouldn't have gotten it off of principle. Like I just like, what do you think about one and Switch 2 still selling like hotcakes, and then two, all of our favorite content creators is just switching up for this moment, I should say, maybe not in
It's
general.
it's like I said, bro. It's the FOMO. It's the FOMO that you have to be, especially since the people have made this particular industry like it's their bread and butter. Because bro, like nobody's trying to go back to typical work.
Yeah,
COVID is like people are like, I'm about to follow my dreams or die.
yeah,
So, and that's the space that people are in, man. And yeah, like, as people were saying that, but once that pre-order link got on, bro, people attached their credit card. It's
immediately.
it's the simple fact of the matter is my audience needs to see me, or I have to switch to just to talk about it. And then that is just the ultimate vanity of human beings.
Mm. Because I mean, I get it from the perspective of like obviously we're still growing our channel, and don't get me wrong, I check YouTube Studio as if it's the daily news. Like I'm on, like I periodically through the day just refreshing YouTube Studio. Like, okay, did we get any engagement with this? Did we get any like, oh, we got more views than usual on that? Like I totally get that aspect of like you said, trying to create a path for yourself that's independent of an employer. But it's just one of the things, and maybe this is just me too high on my moral horse, of like I think one of the things that led to the predominance of content creators, at least in the gaming space, was we were having too much behind the scenes handshakes between these companies and these review companies of like they knowingly are giving a good review to a subpar product. So what started happening is we started having a lot of more of these, I guess you call them independent journalists that were saying like, this is what this really is. This is what's really happening with, this product or this game or this console or this accessory, right? So we gave more of a voice, like you said, to the individuals, to people like us who just like, oh, I'm just going to tell you how it is. I'm not here. Like, if, we get to the point of getting sponsorships and things like that, it's like, sure, I'll take a code from any of these companies, but I'm going to tell the truth. Like, I'm not going to sit there and be like, well, mind's eye, it's a game, it's a game. Like, no, I'm going to tell the truth. And I feel like in this moment, I don't know if it's just because of the shifting of the landscape and everything that's going on with how AI has kind of like thrown YouTube into the blender again, as far as like these AI voiced, AI directed, AI edited videos getting thousands upon thousands of views. But it kind of feels like you said before, like the FOMO of like I have to be the figurehead of this, regardless of how I feel about it. And it's like I don't think you have to. Like I respect the two or three people that I follow that said I'm not getting a Switch 2, and when the day comes, like I still don't have a Switch 2. Like there was a couple of content creators who I won't mention who I was a little disappointed of. Like, dang, you still got to switch to it after all you okay? So just is it like the snake starting to eat its own tail? Like, are we kind of getting back to that? Like, I got to make sure I still get the handshakes, still got the sponsorships, no matter what.
Yes.
Man.
Yeah, because it's money, bro. It's money. It's money, people. Because when you really understand the gravity, people still got to pay their rent.
Mhm.
Still got to pay their rent. People still got to have this. They got to have that. So they have to be on top of every probably social trend possible.
Mhm.
I remember, like, bro, we've always seen it, bro. Like, how remember we used to say, like, when we record, like, if only we had the time to just get it out day one. Like, no, there's people, bro. They watch something, edit, chop it up, upload because
Yeah.
it needs to be within that time frame
While
of
it's quote unquote
miss
trending.
if I miss this,
Mhm. Mhm.
what's the point?
Yeah. I
But
mean,
then
I understand to a degree. I think to whatever degree it might play out to that individual person. I think everyone should just have their own line. That's the only thing. Like, I'm like, since when did YouTube become the daily news? Of like to your point, a video will come out in the morning of like a Nintendo Direct, and by noon, the YouTuber will have a video out of like, here's my thoughts. I'm like, fam, how? How did you do this?
but that's what happens when it's your life, bro.
Mm,
When it's your life depends on it.
yeah. I just all I'll say is I even though I'm no longer surprised because I say it all the time, I'm always a little bit disappointed where the gaming community shows a lot more of their sheep behavior. Of like we've seen these companies bend and fold of when they're in the wrong. Like when the voices are loud enough and their pockets are hit, these companies cave. So even in the situation of Nintendo, like if you really felt this way, if you really got the word out and use your influence, they would drop the price or adjust this or adjust that. Like they would do those things because they're feeling it. But when you still go buy it, it's like, what am I gonna do? I'll just lay down. It's like, all right, draw the line. I'm not saying it has to be with Nintendo, but like draw the line somewhere. Figure out something. You're like, nah, I won't. No matter what, I won't. I don't know. I'm like, man, like I just remember like seeing that headline. I'm like, yo, Tim was right. Tim was right. Like FOMO has got us by the throat.
Yep, so it is, bro. Because especially once that whole thing dies down, because it's, with the new games come out. Oh yeah, watch me, watch me play this, watch me play that.
Yeah. Like I said in the chat, my heart broke for you when I saw people saying Scarlet and Violet is finally playable now. I said, "Oh my goodness!" Yo.
And it's only gonna get worse once they release the decals. The decals. Oh yeah, you don't want to get this Pokemon, ocean waves, and wind gales.
Mm-hmm.
Decal, bro.
Yeah. Yep. I'm like, man, this is not good. It's not good.
Oh, you don't want Pokemon Legends ZA Zygarde green scale print. What you mean you don't want that?
Ultra Z, Ultra Zeta, Ultra Zeta Alpha. No, I want the game to be working the first time. Crazy thought.
Hey, but now as you see it, but see now it's the crazy thing, bro. It's the comparison videos because I know especially when Pokemon Legends ZA come out,
Mhm.
because you're gonna see a bunch of comparison videos like, oh, like check the frames per second, check the amount of things that are happening on screen. It's just like it's so crazy when you say it out loud, but it's like, yes, these comparison videos be having numbers,
Mhm.
numbers, bro,
Yeah.
and especially by the whoever gets it out the fastest.
Yeah. Yeah. It's. I mean, things change, things adjust. Like I obviously like I think we're all pretty forward thinking of like we're not resistant to change. I think to me, I'm just like it's when the change starts to look a little bit unhealthy. Of like we've also heard the other side of like yeah we have you hear YouTubers who put in like 16-hour days for their channel, and it's like well if you're gonna be at like a around the clock news, what's your social life like? The internet joke of like when do you touch grass? Like if you have a video out every couple
When
of hours for every new
when
piece
you
of
go
news.
outside,
Yeah. When you socialize, like, oh, I got to provide for my wife and kids. Like, do you see them? Because, fam, you online like your live notification goes off on my phone like 6 days a week. You know, like what's going on? You good? I know it smells in there. You know, like that kind of thing. But yeah, I wanted to, obviously, we've joked about prophesizing certain things, and I'm like, I gotta give Tim his flowers because he was right. Like FOMO is a day people will move heaven and earth to be like, I have one too. It's crazy. Let's see what's on. Well, since we're talking about Nintendo related things, the day before we started recording this episode, Nintendo dropped a direct specifically and strictly for Donkey Kong Bonanza, and they kind of really revealed that Pauline will be playing, or Kid Pauline, or a rock version
Kid,
of Kid Pauline.
Kid Pauline.
Yeah, right. I'm like, that was kind of confusing.
Yeah, because I was like, so that's the lady who was the damsel in the old arcade games from
Yes,
Donkey Kong. I think this is because of the movie. I think they're trying to build like a universe. I would say because
so it's like a
like
reboot.
yeah, it's like that was an interesting tie-in. I was like, but what happened to Diddy Kong?
Yeah, because the original thing was like the lady that Mario was saving is Pauline, but that original monkey was Cranky Kong.
Oh,
But in the trailer, or in the direct, you see that Cranky Kong is there, so like it can't be granted, Mario isn't necessarily the world's greatest when it comes to timelines.
yeah.
It's not like like
Yeah,
Mario
because
Universe,
apparently they
whatever.
said like the love interest, she was switched, and the love interest became Princess Peach.
Hmm.
So it was very interesting. I was like, yeah, like that was very weird that you just put in a whole human kid. But then that's what I'm trying to figure out. Like, are y'all trying to really build a Nintendo universe in these games?
I mean, it would be smart. Like now that they're getting into movies, why not?
To a degree. To a degree. I mean, I get it. I just kind of feel like that's very interesting waters to navigate because
Mhm.
one thing could just really go left.
Oh, for sure.
Like yeah, smash is smash. Like we always know that's the battle royale moment of when things happen. Mario Kart, yeah,
Pull
or
from different timelines of.
Mario Party, of course. Like we have those togetherness when it comes to those properties, but I kind of felt like when it's like games where we're actually focusing on the key characters, it's like.
What are we doing? Yeah.
Because I just feel like, bro, Diddy Kong is right there.
Which was, I think that's another thing I thought was kind of weird. Of like, so they do have co-op, but the second person plays as Pauline, and you don't move independently of Kong. You ride Kong's back and shoot out vocals towards objects and enemies. I'm like, that's a. It was kind of like what they did with like Cappy in Super Mario Odyssey, where like technically you like if I'm playing a Mario, you could be Cappy. It's like Cappy does not move independent. I have to throw you for you to have any type of independence.
I just feel it's very weird. It's very
Okay,
weird.
okay.
I
Other,
mean,
mm,
like I said, man, I know people are happy to see anything Donkey Kong because like I
it's
said,
me. I'm people.
they've been asking for it. I
Yeah,
mean,
me.
visually it looks great. Visually it looks great. I just yeah, it's the first original Donkey Kong game since Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze, and that was back in 2014.
Hmm.
So let's see where this goes.
Yeah, I mean, to me, it definitely has a spirit of Kirby and the Forgotten Land, Super Mario Odyssey, which I do think Donkey Kong is more than capable of having a game built with that type of universe. So like Super Mario 3D, pretty much, or sorry, Super Mario 64 type of style of game. What do you think about like the power ups and him being able to become Super Saiyan Kong and Zebra Kong?
It's the Mario formula, bro. Like in terms of like power ups, everybody's just trying to give like, and to be honest, that's what really hurt Sonic a lot
Mm,
during that dark era. Like, oh, the Sonic of this, the Sonic of that. Sonic is like they were trying to make Sonic Mario, and I
mm,
feel like that's where you start to lose yourself in. Like, yes, I get it. Mario will always be the true mascot character of Nintendo, but you got to realize, your other characters are part of this universe for a reason.
mm,
Like, let Donkey Kong be Donkey Kong.
mm.
Like there's ways to make him relevant and who he is that is connected to his world that you don't have to do that. Like for example, that's why I always felt like, the three titans of like the PlayStation 2 like mascot airs like Sly. Sly was Sly,
Mm,
Ratchet was Ratchet, Jack was Jack. They all had their different ways of like powering up and doing things, but one did not have to copy another.
yeah.
Oh, like Sly didn't need a whole bunch of like weapons like Ratchet. Like, no, Ratchet is Ratchet.
Hmm.
Let the person be who they're meant to be. But it's like now we're starting to like tread those lines again, bro. And that's very scary. Because even
Yeah.
people said it like, even though to be honest, there are certain fans of it, but then people said like, yeah, that was the last straw was when Sonic turned to the werehog. Like it
Yeah.
was like, bro, like some people liked it, some people didn't, but then that was a very definitive point for Sega that was like, all right, we need to focus
Yeah.
because we're starting to do too much.
Yeah. He's not. It's not. It wasn't even like it was a bad idea, but like the entire premise of Sonic games did not involve transformations outside of Supersonic, which is just the fast hedgehog runs even faster. He flies now. Like that's all you needed.
Exactly. Like so, like what is this?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like Sonic and when like I remember there was one with like a genie, there was one with like a like it was like King Arthur and
Yep.
Excalibur. It's like, bro,
Yep.
like what are we doing?
Yep. Sonic and the Black Knight or something like that. Some weird name game of like Sonic and the what? Like,
It was just doing too much, man. It was doing
yeah.
too much. And Sonic Colors was it wasn't really I wouldn't say it was Mario Space Odyssey or Galaxy, but like at least it was able to like bring people back, I would say.
Hmm. Hmm.
The whiz powers and stuff like that, because at least you were still running, you were still fast,
Yeah.
and it helped him like navigate the trajectory of the playing field. So, uh, yeah,
Okay. Uh, I do feel you on the whole thing about the whole where's Diddy. Like, I do think it's kind of strange that Nintendo will kind of always make sure that Mario has Luigi and Peach at the very least, right? Maybe Wario sometimes, whatever, or Toad, but he always has those two. And like with Donkey Kong, it's like, where's Diddy and Dixie? Like, I would
yeah,
think they would have just be here at this point. Like, why not?
yeah.
Like,
Like no, that is very true. Like, because and then he also has like yeah, like no, that's very true. Straight to the point.
yeah,
Where's,
like just
where's Diddy and Dixie? Like, why did you have to? I guess it goes back to what I said, like in Transformers, like why do we need humans?
mm.
Like why do you need the humans?
Yeah. No, I'm with you. I just
I kind of feel like with Diddy and Dixie, you could also incorporate some quirky things with them.
mhm.
Like, yes, maybe they're probably growing up, maybe now they're teen monkeys now or whatever.
Mhm.
Especially since you want to like do age centric stuff for certain people, but it's like, okay.
Yeah, and you already have like the premise set up. Like Diddy's basically like the Tails to Donkey Kong Sonic. Like there's certain things I'm like, you've already kind of written it. Like just keep going. Like
Get
you
building
just
off
yeah, come on. So, like a lot of things we say, like these ideas aren't bad. Just build, man, build. Don't stop. Don't pivot. Yeah.
Yeah, that's. I mean, we'll see as time goes by with that.
Yeah, I hope it does well. I mean, obviously, I don't have a Switch 2. It's not I don't see a game getting announced, at least for me personally, that's like, nah, I gotta have a Switch 2. I don't see that happening at least within the first year of the game coming out, of the system being out. I just hope that this Donkey Kong sells well enough to keep Nintendo's interest in Donkey Kong. Like, it doesn't need to be another. What you said? You said it was 2014 was the last Donkey Kong. Yeah, we don't need another decade before you see a standalone Donkey Kong game again. That just sounds insane. He's in everything. He's in all the Mario Karts. He's like he was in the Mario movie. Like he just make his games, make him some really dope games, and people will come flocking to it. That's kind of where I'm at with that one. Let's see what else do we got here. None of this news is good, but we'll go to something that's at least interesting before we get to the more, I guess, quote unquote, not so good news. Um, what do you think about Xbox's recently revealed handheld partnership? pricing rumors of the base being rumored to be around 600, and the premium one being rumored to be somewhere in the $900 to $1,000 range. What do you think about? Do you think that helps them in terms of getting into the bigger market, or what are your thoughts about them with
Okay,
that?
see, now we're entering very, I would say, confusing waters.
Hmm.
Now, everybody will say, oh, handheld, console, PC.
Hmm.
But then the thing about it is, it's like, well, bro, these, I guess since the era that we grew up in, we already realized, like, okay, a handheld is a handheld.
Hmm.
It's something that's supposed to be a little bit cheaper, a different type of gaming experience while on the go.
Agreed.
Console is something that, hey, no, bro, you need to sit down and focus.
Hmm.
Sit down and focus, enjoy a root beer, a sandwich while you're doing this. And then, PC, same thing.
Yeah.
But then it's like, because I get it, gaming on the go. But then I kind of feel like gaming on the go for me is a very niche level of experience. Like,
Hmm.
for example, like Pokemon, JRPGs. Like, you were able to, like, yeah, I'm playing it at school, but then when my teacher comes, I gotta hide it.
Hmm.
Not do a full fledged open world game, time sensitive missions,
Yep.
that many frames per second. It's like, no,
Mm.
like, this is something I need to focus on at home. But I get it, the world has changed a bit, but maybe that's just me. But then it's like, why are we calling it handhelds when it's technically still on almost another console with these
Yeah.
prices? So
Almost a PC, to be
you're
honest.
basically releasing another console,
Hmm.
but calling it something else.
Hmm.
Yeah, it has different features, different this, different that to an extent. Because especially as of now, the way you're trying to take this Game Pass utopia,
You seen the thumbnail I sent you? I'm like, this is where we're headed.
like,
Subscribe
it's
or
like, yeah,
die.
like, no, bro, it's another console. You're just basically pushing out another piece of hardware due to whatever thing you've been experimented with, and you need money. You want more money,
Mm.
and that's why I feel like that's where they are. Like, it's just like, it's costing how much and what type
Yeah.
of, like, because I get it. You're trying to enter certain particular markets again,
Hmm.
but it's just, I just kind of feel like, I get it. Nintendo has mastered the ways of, like, handheld, but also strictly console experience. But that goes to showcase in the level of how their games are designed.
Yes, for sure. Mm.
But I kind of feel like, all right, Xbox, do you even have games like that that warrants something of this caliber?
They have Game Pass, Tim.
But then
Like
see
I'm
that
not like I'm joking, but I'm not joking. All roads for them lead back to ever getting Rabbit on
that's
Game
but
Pass.
that's the thing that I just find very, like, interesting, man. It's just like, so what, like, we're literally on this borderland hybrid of handheld and console, but it's just basically, no, you're just selling me another piece of hardware.
Yeah, a
Trying to,
device
like,
to access your streaming software.
you know, like John Travolta said in Swordfish, like, oh, misdirection, Stan.
Mm.
No, like, it's another console.
Mhm.
It's just another console, bro.
Mhm.
That's all it really is.
But do you feel like so? I agree with you. Like it is a console that's being dressed up as something different. Um, but I, I do wonder, especially because Microsoft, respectfully, has not had the greatest history with selling consoles since the Xbox One. Does it make sense for them to be entering this other market now at a competitive price point? Like, like my always go to is like this $1 trillion company can eat it, but I'm like, you could sell these like these handhelds at under market prices, and just to kind of get it into people's hands of like, instead of 600, it's 400. And again, we don't know what the price is going to be, but let's say you cut each one by $200. Like, is that something that like makes more sense? Is it something where like you said, it should be a handheld should be like a strictly handheld experience of like, yeah, it's gonna be 720p, but it's gonna be the nicest 720p you've ever seen to keep the price low. Like, where is that like middle ground?
But then I kind of feel like, the handheld market has also changed since our day because, like, I would say one of the oldest point of like handheld, I would say that I was like kind of like a half and half experience was the PSP.
Hmm.
Like in terms of like, yes, these are PSP games that you are going to love and enjoy. Because like, bro, I remember in high school, bro, people was playing Tekken,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
the PSP version, because yeah, they know they got that home console version, like, but no, like I'm in the middle of the class, it's free period, and I just want to play.
Hmm.
But then and I have understand that game caliber has grown so much over the years. Is like, but like are handheld games even possible anymore? Because the scaling of games has changed so much.
Yeah.
So and that's what I'm saying, bro. We've entered a very, very muddled type of like boundary line of like what is the true category of a game, like double A, triple A, or just handheld experience or full fledged no sit down
Yeah. Yeah.
experience.
Yeah. Put your big speakers on. Like,
But
yeah.
it just kind of just feels like it's going back to just cool aesthetic. You just want it because of how it looks and what
Hmm.
they say that it can do, but it's just basically another remix console.
Yeah.
So, and that's why I kind of feel like it's like I said, man, it's like it's the real dangerous, like I would say, the magic of marketing really going on right
Mm.
now. Because like as we've come to realize, people are going to buy it.
Oh, absolutely.
People are going to buy it just to say that they have it, and but it's just I do feel like these are good. It's a much better fundamental thing to have than how the kinetic and the Xbox Connect
Connect and
and
then
the
PlayStation
Move and
Move.
stuff.
Yeah.
It's not
Hmm.
a gimmick.
Yeah. Yeah. For
It's not
sure.
a gimmick. Like it's an actual. It's like I said. It's a console. It's another console.
Hmm.
Um, I just, it's just like wow. Like we've entered some very interesting waters here.
Yeah.
It's like what truly defines what anymore?
I think that's a good question of like you said, what's a triple A? What's a double? Sorry, yeah, what's a double A? What's considered indie? Is it indie because it was published by any developer, any publisher? Is it if it's developed by any developer but published by Sony? Is it still indie? I don't know. Like, and then to your point just now of like, what is a console experience now? Like, what constitutes of like this is something that you can only experience in on a TV, plugging a device into another device. Because at this point, it's like you're selling us not only a console, but I would argue you're selling us a PC with branding. Like these are PC prices. You can get like a pretty good gaming laptop for that price of $900. Say like it won't be portable, but I'm just saying like that. Like we're entering that price range of like this is not, like a PSP at the time at our age. I'm like, yeah, it was a little pricey, but it wasn't the price of the PS3 or the PS2. Like there was a clear distinction. Like now it's just like,
Yeah.
fam, this is more expensive than your console. Like by that definition. I could technically buy a Series X at a cheaper price than I will for this device. Hmm. I don't know. So that's why my question about like, is this a good is this how like Xbox kicks off, I guess, their next attempt to kind of capturing a hardware market.
I mean, I would say yeah, because honestly, like especially as you saw from their showcase, the different variations of Xbox PC, Xbox this, Xbox that. They're trying to like really push their name everywhere in terms of, oh, we are everywhere.
Mhm.
This is an Xbox. That's an Xbox. But then, yeah, now you're really showing us that, yeah, because this that is an Xbox. You
Yeah.
basically just you're selling another console.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So now, like we've even switched away from like, oh yeah, we have one signature console with different variations, like PlayStation this, PlayStation Slim, PlayStation Pro. Like no, like now you're even, oh no, this is an Xbox. So now it's like I said, the definitions now are starting to change.
Mhm.
The definitions are starting to change, man. So
Yeah.
it's
I
very, yeah, yeah.
no, I'm with you. I do think that the definitions of things could be clearer of like even if they change it to like this is Xbox gaming, right? Like that to me would have been a better distinction of like this is an Xbox. Like no, that is not an Xbox. Like me running Xbox Game Pass off my TV is not the same experience as running it through an X. and you know this. But if you said this is Xbox gaming, I can kind of take what comes with my device limitations at that point. Like to me, like this is an Xbox that kind of gets very murky of like, but what is an Xbox experience then? If what we're talking on right now are both Xboxes, we're two Xboxes talking to each other. Like, what defines an Xbox experience? Like that's the thing where I'm like, I'm not quite sure what do you mean by that? Like that's where my mind goes. Like, what do you mean by that? Like, what does Xbox play anywhere? I don't understand what that means,
Yeah, because you're starting to see it like everywhere now. Because like even for example, like YouTube games, Netflix games.
bruh.
Like
Yeah,
I just saw like on Netflix the other day they have Street Fighter 4 Arcade Edition as like
how?
ads. So like like I said, man, we've interested some like very interesting like because everybody's trying to fight for your entertainment. Like
Hmm.
basically, like a friend of mine tells me, entertainment is containment,
Yeah,
containment of the mind. So like everybody's fighting for your attention.
stay on this platform no matter what, by any means. Please don't leave this platform. It's crazy. It's crazy, bro. That's a good point. I don't know. I mean, I told you enjoying my plans for a long time. Like, I would really love to get like a Steam Deck OLED and just retire from the console market in general. Like, that would be like, I know you're retiring regardless. Like, that would kind of be like, I really want one really good handheld, and then that's just it. But it's just like with this thing of like, okay, but given the way the market is, like, am I future proofing myself by getting this handheld, or is this the handheld where it's like it's a cell phone, and in about 3 years I'm gonna need a new handheld? Like that's the other thing of like, do I even try to begin to put my quarters in my little piggy bank for a device that's gonna be obsolete by the time my first child is here? Like I don't know. Like it's just certain things of like it's hard to say with the rising cost of everything and the way that specs change every 6 months. You know, but we can use it as a springboard into some of the reports that have been talked about both on the Sony side and on the Microsoft side, where they both kind of said in not so many words, in Xbox cases, literally saying in this many words of like, yeah, we're now focusing our attention to the next piece of hardware. They've already started to thinking about what the PlayStation 6 is going to be. They've already started thinking about what the next Xbox console is going to be. So as much as we both kind of fought Jory on this, it turns out he was right. Of like they're admitting in not so many words, yo, this console generation is we're piecing out. We're getting out the game.
It's very unfortunate, and
Mm,
as the signs started to build, that's why I said to myself, like, yeah, this is my last console run
mm,
because it's too much. It's too much, man. The economics are changing too much. The definitions are changing too much. The money, the pricing is becoming too much. Like, gaming was a beautiful level of escapism.
mm-hmm,
But then
mm-hmm.
also, like, core parts of human development, like, the worlds that we escaped to and then what they did for us. But then now the money has really truly changed everything. And as of now, like, yes, PS5 was a very interesting start due to COVID, but then that was on them. But it was just, I just kind of feel like the system has finally gained some proper momentum
Yeah.
that is like, why do you need to move on to another hardware? Because, and it's like how you said, bro, it's the Apple format. Because, like, oh, now you need 8K TVs. Now you need this and that and the third. It's just like, yeah, everybody just trying to push more hardware on you, like more cybernetics.
Mm-hmm.
You need this TV, you need that system, you need this, you need that, you need these accessories. Like everything is just hardware, hardware, hardware.
Yeah. It's
And then,
become I feel like not to completely cut you off, but like I feel like the PS5 has become like a Sony television almost of like it's there for this thing, but it doesn't fuel this thing, if that makes sense.
yeah,
Mm,
because like I just said, like, what's the difference between the Pro and the Max?
bro. Don't even get me started.
Of course, but there's a 45%. So you want me to pay this amount of money for a 45% difference, and
Yes.
you're just giving me games.
Well,
And
they can't give you games, remember? Because all of them got canceled because they were all live service attempts. Every single last one of them, Tim, was a live service game.
that's the thing, man. It's just like if you're saying this console generation is coming to a close very quickly, well, you built this whole massive army of studios, and only like I can't even say half of them, only a quarter of them have shown us what they've done. And then the rest of them are in trouble because like your ideas didn't flesh out.
Hmm.
One you got rid of. You did the Thanos snap and delete it. Um, which I feel is just very unfair.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
It's very unfair, man. But then, like I said, man, it was a good run while it lasted, but I that's not something that I could support.
No, I'm with you, bro. Like I've again, we're seeing such interesting times in gaming of like if you really were to kind of step back and take a look at, and it's not to say that the market has never reflected this ever, right? Because that'd be entirely untrue. But I think this has probably been the longest stretch of time. And I could be wrong. Maybe somebody will correct me in the comments. I think this is the longest stretch of time where we've seen a console or consoles be carried by third party developers, where the first party is putting out the least amount of output for their console. Like if you think about it, it's like I think that's even why, even though it's not technically true, why the perception is there of like, man, the PlayStation ain't got no games. Because you start thinking about the first party titles and it's very, very minuscule in comparison to the third party titles that are out for it. Like, bro, y'all was celebrating Black Myth Wukong as your win last year. How?
Well, they're celebrating The Last of Us 5-year anniversary of like I think the release of two. It's like, bro, like what? Like a game that you just remixed like 2 to 3 times already.
Naughty Dog has given us nothing in 5 years. What world is this? Oh my gosh, bro. Yeah, I mean, like I've said multiple times on this pod, and I'll keep saying it. Like, I was not with you with the retirement initially, but as time has gone on, like I think I'm on board now. Like, this just doesn't make sense for me to be as actively invest. Like, my desire to have a PS6 is not going to match my desire to have a PS5. I wanted that PS5. Like, we text each other in celebration of when we've got our respective devices. Like that hype was there. Like now I'm just like, whatever. Like,
I was
yeah.
like, bro, focus on your marriage, bro.
Yeah,
Nah,
let me focus on living some of this life because telling you, bro, my retro gaming is about to be on another level now. Like, let me see all these old throwbacks I haven't really played or got the trophy for yet. Because new
nah, bro.
titles, I'm
Like
done.
backlog season is looking beautiful right now.
Mm,
Oh you waited 5 years to buy this game, log. Yeah, now it's only $22 on sale.
yeah, the ultimate edition. Sign
Okay.
me up. Sign me
And
up.
and you will have a good time with it because
Hmm.
especially since most of the games that we play don't really have to really restrict like online play and stuff like that. Like, oh no, there's a very levels, you know, first person. Like, thank you.
Yep. Yep. No, hey, no backlash here. No difference of opinion. Let's see. What else did I have on this list? Another thing that had randomly came up to me before the show is Stellar Blade the new Bayonetta?
It's very interesting.
Because it's doing great numbers on PC right now, like going crazy on PC.
That's very interesting. I mean, people love the waifu.
They do.
I mean,
And apparently the combats is actually pretty good. I do want to play the game, but apparently
yeah.
like the gameplay is actually really good.
No,
So
no,
it's
no.
not like it's just
The
yeah.
gameplays are actually very, very good. It
Mm,
is. You know, sci-fi waifu. Can't go wrong. That's the way I can say it. Like you can't go wrong with it. So yeah. And
traded in the Angels and Demons for T800s.
I mean, when you really look at it, bro, there was a window. She's been she's been out of the mix for a while
Yeah.
due to political reasons.
Yeah. You started doing
Um,
the hard math. Bayonetta 1 came out in 2010. It's been a little minute now.
so I mean, there was a window, and when there's a window, people see it, and they just take it.
Yeah.
Now, where this series goes from there, that's left up to whatever the future holds.
Yeah, but to me, I'm like, and I'm not saying this as like a cop out for them by any stretch, but I do think in keeping that Bayonetta comparison, like I know a lot of people try to compare Celebrate to Near Automata, but I'm like, Near Automata it has good writing. Like Bayonetta was never really known for its writing, but we were still interested. And that's why
Mhm.
I feel like Soda Blade kind of fits that. Of like, even if the writing doesn't ever fully correct itself, if it can kind of keep that action spark going and being innovative in that way, I think it could carry for at least another sequel
Bro, she's gonna be guest character. She's gonna be a guest character down the
in
line.
everything.
You saw it with Near Automata. I think Bayonetta was a guest character for a Smash game, right?
Yes.
Mhm.
Yep.
It's bound to happen sooner or later. I mean, like I said, there's a window for it, bro. You made a good point. Near Automata, like yeah, like she was a character that most people wanted, and there's certain things. Like I said, bro, her in Soul Calibur 6 was amazing.
Hmm.
Like I've seen her destroy a person's life bar.
Touch of death with
Listen,
everything.
like, bro, what just happened?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So it's interesting, man. I'm glad it's a success. Like I still said, I really hope Sony fixes this whole PS5 PC thing down the line. Like, bro, can we just get like 1 to 1? I mean, of course, Marvel.
Yeah, I was saying Marble Token is a day one on PC. So I don't
Like,
know.
you can do that.
Yeah.
It would just make because I'm tired of these little 2 month later down the line announcements. Like, because first of all, you so hyped to see the notification pop. Like, oh, is there something new? Like, oh, PC.
Yeah.
Like,
And I think for some like, and I think it made sense to a certain degree, right? Before PC gaming really took off, of like, you don't want to cannibalize yourself by like, if we could get someone to buy it on a console, we prefer to do it that way. But I'm like, these two markets don't really interact with each other like that. Like, someone who is buying for PC was not gonna buy it on a PS5 either way. Like, there's people who are strictly PC who literally waited that year and some change to play Spider-Man 2. They just waited. Like, they just like, okay, I'm not buying a console. I will wait as long as it takes for it to come to PC. So I think like this whole day one PC thing is like, you're not causing a conflict in the market at all. Like, you're only losing money in that regards of like, they're two different markets that sometimes intersect. Obviously, with a game like Marvel, you're gonna want to have crossplay day one. Obviously, like that's like a no brainer. But in terms of some of these single player releases, like what does it matter? Just put it out. Just put it out at the same time. Like who cares?
yeah,
Like it's just not. It's to me like it's not one of those things of like they still got to cut you a check regardless. So what's y'all don't mind taking money from everything else? Like what's the where's the hesitation?
that's very true.
Yeah. Let's see. What else did I have here on this list? Well, we did most of the neutral news. I guess it's a neutral news too. I think it's bad, but I want to get your opinion on it. Warner Brothers Games announced that they now are splitting their games into strict divisions with division leaders. So there'll be a Harry Potter division, a Mortal Kombat division, a DC Games division, and a Game of Thrones division, all with their own individual. I guess not CEOs, but like they report to one head for that division. What do you what do you think about Warner Brothers Games new quote unquote focus on their IPs?
I mean, I know they just need to take a break, but like, bro, they're doing a lot right now. Like, I mean, I know they're trying to like bring back some level of focus, but some of these franchises, I was like, do you really feel like this is the franchise that you should just make a whole division for? Like, because to be honest, Game of Thrones, it's cool, but how far do you want to take this universe, bro?
Mm.
Like, Harry Potter was cool for the time being, but like,
Hmm.
yeah, now you're trying to do the GT version of them. But it's like, it's like,
Out of those four things that they listed, maybe two of them have some legs. Maybe.
like
I honestly only say one, but two
yeah,
maybe has
to
some
be
legs.
honest, only DC really has like because
Yeah.
at least with DC you can always do many
Yep.
variations of.
Yep.
Mortal Kombat is in a very iffy place right now. Like I get it, bro. Hogwarts Legacy was they
Was a
made
money
bank.
printer.
They,
Yeah.
they they made bank,
Mm.
and I get it. They're trying to have something. Excuse me. I know they're trying to have something that ties to the new show, because I get it, HBO Max. HBO
Yeah.
Max, WB Gaming, these things need to intertwine. I get
Hmm.
it.
Hmm.
But time will only tell, bro. Time will only tell with them. Like they've had so many losses and so many bad decisions. I just don't even know.
Yeah. To me, the risk of sound like a pessimist. I don't think this is good. Nothing about that. Like I know, I guess, like you said, to be fair, it remains to be seen. But the issue to me wasn't the lack of focus; it was the lack of quality products. So like to me, it's like you look at, not saying that DC should forever continue to mimic Marvel, but the thing that Marvel is doing well is that they're going to people outside of them that specialize in certain things, right? So it's like we want to make a Spider-Man game. Who's that company that you guys said that did Sunset Overdrive? That was kind of Spider-Man like esque in its mobility. Oh, Insomniac? Yeah, no, we were down working them. Oh, who's the leading up and coming innovative company in the fighting game market right now? Arxis? Yeah, get them on the phone. Like they're making those decisions that like you're going with stamped, tried and true, and like publicly approved companies to make your IPs, and it's been working. Whereas with DC, it's like you still have the skeleton of those things there. Like I think they should be honestly grateful that Ed Boon hasn't gotten tired and wanted to retire. Of like the Mortal Kombat range, because clearly he's still passionate about it, still has ideas for it. Um, and we've seen what, I don't know, 2014 Rock said he was capable of when it came to Batman. So it's like you have these like studios that have the chops. It's just like, are you going to actually let them play to their strengths? Like that's the thing. I'm like, it doesn't matter how much you say I'm going to focus on this and break it up into divisions. Like, is this going to lead to a more quality product? And not only that, but when? like, like at this point, it's like Injustice is looking more like a reboot than the part 3. The way things are going.
Run, Barry, run.
Yeah. Run right into the James Gunn universe. like that's what it's looking like, bro. Like prepare to see Frankenstein's Bride from Creature Commandos in the game, Weasel. like like that's just what it feels like. Of like, I just you know, everyone can have a redemption story. I'm not going to say that it's too late for Warner Brothers, especially in their gaming division. But to your point of like, fam, y'all just changed back to HBO Max like last week again. Like, what are we doing? Like, what are we?
Yeah,
What's the plan
that
here?
alone, I was like, bro, y'all are in a frenzy. Y'all are in a deep frenzy, bro. Like y'all just don't know what to do.
hmm
And the organ, like, oh yeah, we're reorganized. I mean, those are good, faithful words, I would say, but the product has to show up for
Yeah,
me, bro, and it has to show up fast.
soon, yeah, yeah.
It's
I'm with
like,
you.
because like I said, bro, Mortal Kombat Legacy Collection ain't gonna do it. Even if you put Shaolin monks in it,
Really,
yeah,
Shaolin
I
Monk's
mean,
online co-op crossplay.
uh, I just kind of felt like it's a cop out. It's a cop out, bro. Like it was like because you could tell even with Ed Boon's face, I'm like, bro, this is so fake. This is so fake. Like, oh yeah, like like
That's why I
no,
said
bro.
last week he did not look happy for real.
It's like nah, bro. They are hurting, bro. They are hurting so bad because like it's a mix of decisions. It's the developer, it's the publisher, it's the CEOs, it's the investors. It's just a very harmful ecosystem, bro, right
Mm,
now, and it's really impacting the products all around. But I mean, we'll see, man. Because to be honest, that's the only thing that they have in the chamber.
yeah, I mean, I don't know if you've been keeping as much of a pulse on this. I really haven't. I just been coming across my timeline. Apparently, that other universe of Batman, the Absolute Batman, seems to be doing pretty well. That might be a good place to kind of pivot at least one of their studios towards of, you know, give the creators of Arkham Origins something to do in the Batman universe.
It's just to what end, though?
I,
To
I'm,
what end, man? Because like I said, man, Arkham Knight was pretty good, man. I mean,
mm,
aside of like the overuse of the Batmobile, but Arkham Knight was pretty fair. Arkham
mm,
Knight was pretty fair, but it just It just honestly and truly, like, where do we go from here in terms of these characters? And that's why I kind of felt like they were really on to something with Injustice, like the fighter, like a DC fighter.
Hmm.
And that's why I kind of felt like that was the beauty of when I saw the Marvel trailer. It's like finally something that has a focus. Because to be honest, man, like I've come to realize this is why I feel like Tekken Cross Street Fighter is not happening. I feel like we've left that era of half and half, half this, half that, because it kind of feels like people just want to focus on their core elements and
Mm.
use the other universe integration as guest characters versus a full roster.
Hmm.
Because now you've come to see, like, even when you have the full focused universe, people are upset with the full roster. Because, like, Tekken's a prime example. Where's Eddie? Oh, I gotta pay for Eddie again.
Hmm.
Oh, here's well, not again, but here's Armor King. I gotta pay for Armor King again. Oh, I gotta pay for Fakurama again. I gotta pay for Sagat again. People are upset about what's happening in these core universes with their base roster. So like, just imagine a crossover.
Yeah.
Like this nitpick room. So now everything is just all right. Let's just focus. Let's just focus on what we got. So like yeah, like Injustice. Like I do feel like Injustice 3 is actually a very great title to like really put some focus into. But like the build, the rebuild, the faith part, that's the part that I just
Yeah.
don't know because it's like, bro, like this MK1 stuff it was a failure.
Hmm.
Like it was to the point where like there was too many gimmicks that was just not funny. It's like every title you take out Jade and put Tanya in. You take out Tanya and you put Jade. It's like, come on, bro. Come on.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like, come on. And then it's like, because to be honest, bro, like I did not want to see new Cybot ever again. I felt
Really?
like I felt like this could have been the point where we just focus on Beyond.
Okay.
Like I would
Okay.
like to see what could you really do with Beyond versus just killing him,
Hmm.
and he becomes a specter or whatever. And because yeah, it could like the whole brother Sub Zero Scorpion, it could have worked, but then you nerf Smoke, who's basically a Jin Cherokee
Hmm.
in the original timeline. It's like, oh yeah, here's these two brothers with elemental powers, but then yeah, their third adopted brother has nothing. I was like,
Smoke bombs.
I was like, we can't, bro.
Tear gas man.
I was like, we can't. The man has a whole Jin Cherokee in the original timeline, bro. So that
Mm.
means you tell me that those Japanese demons exist in this realm.
It's not like they didn't have demons in the rebooted universe either. Like,
Like, bro, a whole
it's
nether. It's like, bro, the nether realm exists. Like, come on, bro. Like,
yeah.
it's like it was just too many things like that was just like, bro, this just makes no sense.
But as you were talking to him, it made me think about like even in regards to Injustice 3, I think because Mortal Kombat 1 did such a abysmal job with the multiverse, how do you approach it? I think people are gonna have multiverse fatigue when it comes to Injustice 3 of like you have to be very careful how you use that storyline because that whole thing of like Injustice 2 of spoiler alert to anyone who somehow has not played this game of like you had two different universe Supermans facing off against each other. Right? Like how do you
Well,
approach that in the third?
the first
Oh,
one.
yeah, sorry, in the first one. Like, how do
Yeah,
you
see,
approach that in a way that, like, is people like, "Oh my gosh, here
which
comes
is why
Superman over
I
here."
which is why I enjoyed the second one. Like, oh, so we're actually going to see the consequences of this world
Mhm.
fleshed out. But then, of course, Flashpoint Reset is going to always be there. It's just like, all right, if you want to do that, then actually now it's time to really go ham on this roster.
Mm.
Like, since you fix the world to whatever degree that you think that you could possibly think of, what is this DC fighter roster going to look like?
Yeah.
Because you already showed us from Injustice 1 to Injustice 2 the level of variety that you can do when you focus.
Yeah. You made Gorilla Grodd into a
Top
legitimate
tier.
character. Like,
Oh,
didn't
he
think it was
was a
possible.
like, this man, that gorilla was a problem.
Yeah, you took a talking gorilla and turned him into a competent fighter, like, the creativity's there, like, for sure.
Black Manta
Mhm.
was a great
Mhm.
character. Like I never cheered so much for Black Adam in my entire life. Is like I don't need Shazam. Like I'll take Black Adam.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So I mean, it's interesting, man. It's very interesting. So it just right now they just have to rebuild the faith. I mean, if they feel like this level of organization is going to do it, then okay. But then my thing about it is, it's just the weird focuses, like oh Harry Potter department, or it's kind of becoming like too much like Disney. Like oh yeah, we need a Disney theme park of, oh not a
Mm,
Disney, a Universal theme park of Harry Potter this, Harry Potter that. So like, where are you taking this Harry Potter universe?
yeah.
Where are you taking this Game of Thrones universe? Like, what are you about to do? Spin off at the spin off at the spin off?
Because that's my other thing too, and it's I guess we're kind of off topic, but not really. But like, even with the reboot of Harry Potter, it's like, what does that mean for Harry Potter world? Like, you got to kind of keep most of these things like a one for one, because you're not going to knock down the park to like you're not going to update the 4D ride with new Harry. I don't think.
That's the thing. That is. So it's like, where do you go? Like in terms, like, because you got to realize, like, media has crossed over so much. Like, it's just not no longer media. It's media, games, merchandise. Like I said, it's the many umbrellas under a franchise.
Hmm.
Where do you go from this? And then even in terms of Mortal Kombat, like so, like you really just gonna turn Mortal Kombat into this big monopoly? Like, so what is to come of this? Like, because you already showed us the anime. The first one had a little good.
It was cool. I can't believe they ruined it so quickly, bro. The animated universe
Yeah,
like,
like after
it
that,
was cool.
yeah, the first one was pretty good, but then after that, y'all just
You
went
did the
kind of
time skip again. I'm like, fam, why?
then you ended it off with a Mad Max version
Oh
of
my
like
gosh.
of Kano, defeated Kronika. It's like, bro, first of all, this multiverse stuff, y'all gotta stop.
Hmm.
You gotta stop. And
You
that
know
was
how
that.
cool it would have been to see the Sub Zero game told in animations form of
Yeah.
him. Yeah, like him being an unknowing go for Quan Chi. No, sorry, not Quan Chi, for Shinnok. That would have been dope to see in a film. Nope, we're gonna do this completely different thing and do a time skip. Yeah, man. I just, like you said, we'll see, right? Like, thoughts and
Yeah,
prayers.
we definitely we'll see that because I kind of feel like they're not going to try to jump the DC gun until after this Superman movie airs.
Yeah, you could. It almost. It's like you can feel the breath being held the closer it gets released. Of like, okay, what do the numbers look like on that new trailer? Okay, do we got to show something else? We already showed. There's a lot of Easter eggs in this trailer already. Okay. We showed crypto. We showed Guy Gardner. We showed like he's like how I don't know. We showed Hot Girl. Like
Yeah,
what if?
and then I know like Peacemaker season 2 is around the corner. Whatever that they decide to do with the Batman and Penguin,
Mhm.
but it's like okay, so you're doing all of this, but you keep saying that it's not a multiverse
Right. What is
or so
continuity in the words of
what is
James Gunn?
continuity? It's like so, but to be honest, it's like, well, this Batman universe makes a lot of sense to me.
Yeah. Especially after the Penguin show of like, no, no, keep this. I like
And
this.
so it's kind of like, what are you really doing? I mean, to be honest, when you really look at it, the Batman movie was a success.
Yeah.
So if you wanted to say that was the new start or whatever, you actually could work with that.
Mhm.
You could, because it looks like you want like younger characters to actually grow with them because Superman looks a little young to
Yeah.
me.
But then I wonder if they can do that with that particular Batman because, to be fair, Robert Pattinson's not the youngest. He
Yeah.
still looks young, but like, say you're planning the movies over the next 10 years, like it's going to start showing in his face sooner than later.
I mean, but then, eventually, especially since the way this DC universe is throwing all these characters, it's like, yeah, bro, you about to see a Dick Grayson sooner or later,
Oh, for sure. I mean, if the rumors are true that this Batman and James Gunn universe starts off with him already having Damian. So,
which is crazy.
hey, it's a rumor. It's a rumor. I don't know. I
Like,
don't know.
how you just go from the first Robin to the fifth because he's technically the fifth. Like, it's like, bro, how do you do that?
It's a rumor. I don't know. Time will tell.
It's like, I mean,
I do want to see a live action Damien on screen, but not as movie one. Like like, not as a new introduction. Like no 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 no. Let's go through the moments. Let's have our Jason Todd falling out on screen. We deserve it. Let's Dick Grayson falling out and he comes back as Nightwing. Let's like I'll be in the crowd, clapping in the back when I see him pull out the black and blue with the sticks. Like, no. Let's not jump to Damien.
yeah, bro. Because like to be honest, even the DC Titan show that had some good moments.
Mm,
That had some good moments. Um, but yeah, it's just they're in a very interesting place. A lot of things are in a weird limbos
yeah.
these days.
I guess like well, we're gonna move on now, but like I just to me like when it comes to DC in particular, I'm like this could have all been prevented. I don't understand how you guys got yourself here. Yeah, it's the easy. You have some of the most popular superheroes in the world. It's not hard. It's really not hard. Why are you doing this to yourself? Like that's my thought. Like why are you making your life hard for no reason? It could be so easy. But
Money.
yeah. But I guess in the words of dramatic irony, right? We're about to make our lives hard because every time we speak on this, there's our comments open up with people saying, "You guys are wrong. You're idiots. You're haters. You're this. You're that." Tim Shallot from Dragon Ball Legends is coming to Dragon Ball Sparking Zero, a much requested crossover character from the popular mobile game Dragon Ball Legends. Not a game I play personally. I'm not really into the whole PvP gotcha of like whoever has the most money wins, pretty much, because that's just how these games are designed. Um, but what were your thoughts? I know obviously your thoughts on Sparking Zero, but what are your thoughts of the Dragon Ball, I guess, game universe starting to cross over more and introduce new or not new, but new to that particular audience of these other characters?
I hate it.
Oh god, here it goes.
I feel like it is very. First of all, I feel like it's very lazy
Hmm.
because first of all, it's another Saiyan and it's
Yeah,
a very bland Saiyan
yeah.
at
He
that.
he's almost like a universe character in that particular game.
It's like come on, bro. Like, and this is where I stand by what I said. Fighter Z was just the way to go. Like, we've come to see now that the Dragon Ball franchise has hit a very heavy fatigue point. Like, it's just because the multiple retcons, the lack of like story stickiness,
Yeah.
like, it's just become fan service. Like, oh, he just did it just because, and we're gonna say it's great because he finally gave it to us.
Hmm.
And then, of course, the multiple deaths, pinnacle deaths, deaths in general. This series has, like, it's time to just wrap it up. And that's why I felt like, all right, if you want to do that, Fighter Z is a good format. Make it just like just a fighter, just a
Hmm.
fighter of the various DBZ characters across Dragon Ball, depending on their power level, Dragon Ball Z, GT, and a couple of faces from Super.
Hmm.
And call it a day. Like, just call it a day. And you could build off of that. Give us stages. You do your little season passes of a certain particular characters, maybe surrounded about like movies or something like that, and just call it a day, man.
Hmm.
And just make it like it's a tournament fighter. That's gonna always be people's hype.
Would you think because like there's been this rumor, and I say rumor because there's nothing to prove that this is true in any way, form, or fashion. But I guess you could string the pieces together. There's been this ongoing rumor that the top heads in charge of the Dragon Ball franchise, the Shueishas, the Toyas, they're kind of done with Dragon Ball. They would actually want to move on to something else, but it makes so much money. It's like they can't help themselves.
But see, that's the point. Like, you gotta make a decision. Like, and this is where, I mean, it's not well now. It's kind of like up in the air now. Due to Arxis moving on to something else. It's just like that's why I felt like Fighter Z is a very definitive level of product
Hmm.
if you focus. Like, Because we all felt it, bro. Like there should have been another season pass. We all felt it.
Yeah.
We all felt it. And then depending on who you would have put, this could have been good. Like, of course, I thought like, yeah, Fighter Z, you could have gave us some type like in the between characters, like maybe like a Dodoria, a Zarbon, um, a Deborah, and things of that
Mhm,
nature.
mhm.
And like, okay, yes, we got some people outside of the core pinnacle faces, of
Yeah.
course. But then this is where I like felt like, bro, this is a definitive product. It is a very fast paced, very detailed level of scale of a game that it's a tournament fighter. So
Mhm,
that means people are literally, as soon as they buy it, they are going to be training every single day, every single frame to prepare for whoever they got to fight at tournaments around the world.
mhm.
What is wrong with that?
I don't know.
And you found some ways, to make it a little extra Xenoverse like money. Oh, you want the Dragon Ball Z music pack of all the years before? $15.
Yep.
And
You
you know
want
people are going to buy it. People are going to buy it, bro.
you want Chi-Chi as your announcer? $5 pack. Okay.
So like there was room for what you wanted, but versus also what we wanted.
Yeah.
It's like, and that's why I kind of felt like, bro, going back to Spark and Zero or that Xenoverse like format was like a regression.
Mm.
Because like, and I that's what I was saying. Like, no, bro, like this series is really going to get hit so hard that now they don't know what to do. The manga is an entirely in a limbo because
Yeah.
y'all took Frieza's story too far to the point you don't even know what to do with this character no more.
Mhm.
And then
Oh,
even the discussions that we had in the chat, bro, about Turles, the real Goku Block,
yeah.
what he could have become. It's like, bro, like it's right there.
Mhm. Since y'all love saying so much, just take
Take what
Goku's
you
unclaimed
really
twin and make it work.
even like us even saying like, bro, like who kept the Freezer Force alive? Like, well, he has a whole brother out there.
Mhm.
Like y'all just keep ignoring. It's like y'all got two pinnacle characters who have such a vital role to this entire story that y'all are just ignoring.
Yeah. And you know that canonically Frieza has a son. Right. Right. Right.
So it's like y'all are just like really not focusing, bro. Like it's just you're trying to do these little ha 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 remakes of stuff that is not sticking, bro. Because I tell you, bro, like Cell Max was pointless.
You know what really did it to me, Tim? To speak of your point of Cell Max, it was a picture I sent y'all in the group chat the other day where Toritoro redrew Goku and Gohan doing the father son Kamehameha, but in their Ultra Instinct and Beast forms, and I was like, we've this is too much now. Like we've nostalgia the nostalgia at this point of like y'all are literally just doing a modern take on everything we've seen.
Like Prince said, the sample to the sample.
Yeah, bro. Like, what is this song now? Like, you sampled the sample to sample the sample. Like, you turn on the radio now, we're hearing hooks that we heard in high school. Like, not even like a flip on the hook. It's the same hook, just on a different beat. You're like, this is just in the club 2025. I don't understand what like, with worse rapping. What's happening here? Like, yeah, man. I mean, hmm. The reason I brought this topic up and to tie into Dragon Ball games in general is that like I told you guys, I played Dokkan Battle, which is that phone. It's basically Dragon Ball Candy Crush, but it's
Mhm,
entertaining, it's fun, whatever. Cool to watch on the couch while my wife's watching reality TV. It's like, okay, let me get my let me not focus all the way on the foolishness that I'm watching on my screen. And
mhm.
even Dokkan Battle is starting to suffer now because they're attempting to bring back relevancy to some of the earlier Dragon Ball moments. So the characters they've released over the past, I think, 3 months have been General Tao, Tien from the World Tournament when he first fought Goku, and General Blue from the Red Ribbon Army.
Interesting.
And people are not here for it. They're not here for it. They're like, these characters are boring. Who wants to play as these guys? Da, 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 da. Even though they're well made characters, it's like General Tao. Who's that? Like you people saying, "Who's that?" And like I started to get Like, what do you mean? But then I'm like, you know what? You start doing the math. I'm like, okay, Dragon Ball Super started in like 2015, technically. Someone who was 10 at that time is 20 now. They grew up on a complete, you know what I'm saying? Like, if even for us, it's like because we enjoy story and enjoy like the legacy of things, we went back and watched Dragon Ball. But a lot of people from our age group don't even really know all of Dragon Ball like that. So it's like I can only imagine the Dragon Ball Super crowd. They probably didn't even watch Dragon Ball Z like that.
Because first of all, the animation is different.
Yeah.
Like, it's like, bro, do you even know who King Piccolo is?
Piccolo had a dad? That's where we're at though. That's where we're at. They it's like I'm not even like mad at different phases and different generations having a different love for the same property, but I think to what you've said many times, especially in the chat, of like you've done such a you being the companies have done such a low effort job of any character that's not a Saiyan that when these things come up in these games, nobody cares. Like people would have been excited to see Tien if you had done something with him in Dragon Ball Super, but you didn't. Now it's too late.
Shadow Clone Sacrifice. And then, it even goes back to when we were doing the movie breakdowns. Like, he was like, Garlic Jr. Why? It's like, bro, have you not seen this movie?
Right. But Tim, nobody transforms in that movie. There's no Super Saiyan in that movie.
Exactly. Exactly. It was about what we said, technique. It was about technique.
Yeah, it was martial artists using martial arts. I know it sounds crazy.
What do you mean? So there's not a big blast at the end? No.
No.
I mean, well, Gohan screams. I guess you
Yeah.
could count that as a sound wave.
Yeah.
Like, come on, bro. It's about technique.
Yeah.
You
Right.
do
Like
realize,
I've seen fan art of Tien that's cooler than what they've done with Tien. I've seen fan art where they do like the forearms thing and he's doing like a double tri beam, and I'm like, that would have been cool, you know, like what? or Tien was secretly practicing with the Kaioken and became. I'm like, that would have been cool. He did go to King Kai's world with the rest of them. Like, why did that never come up ever again?
nope.
Yeah, man. I just it's just interesting because I think they've we made this comparison before of Dragon Ball being a glorified toy commercial, but I do think that it's going to come back to bite them at a certain point.
It has, bro. It has.
Yeah,
You turn Frieza's transformations into the Mastercard.
yeah,
And it's like, bro, what?
yeah. Up,
Come
up,
on.
up. There's two different
Like
versions of Super Saiyan 4.
like when I saw that, I was like, bro, they just couldn't help themselves.
Nope.
They just couldn't help themselves. Like
Think
you
of the figurines.
you had the perfect template already. You had the perfect template already. You just couldn't help yourself. You just had to make it a highlighter. You just couldn't help yourself.
Red hair, red eyes. red... oh man. I mean, I'm all like, to me, I'm like going with that, I guess, like conspiracy theory. Like, I'm all about giving One Piece more shine, but you got to give One Piece better games. Like, that's to me, I'm like,
Yeah,
the anime,
because
like the anime is fire now, but where's the top
to
quality
be
games?
to be honest, like go back to the days in the PS2 era where we had One Piece fighters.
Yeah. Yep.
Like,
One Piece
what would
Grand Battle and all those games. Yeah.
look like in this day and age? Like, you did the Dynasty Warrior stuff, which was pretty cool.
Hmm.
But, like, let's see something else, man.
Yeah.
But I guess that roster's too thick now these days.
Yeah. Right.
Like, why are none of why don't we have all the lieutenants and the vice captains from
Bro.
war? I was like, well, bro, that's almost like 20
Yeah.
characters right
It's
there. Like,
yeah. I'm not gonna lie. That's a good point. It is intimidating. I would
the
be.
bad rosters.
Yeah.
Like, it's like, bro, like, could you imagine the type of characters that they would need to put in from the Wano arc alone?
I've given some thought about that. They would have to start from the time skip at the very least. No pre-time skip characters whatsoever.
Yeah, it would be too
The roster,
much.
yeah, the roster's too big. It's way too big. You have 9 Straw Hats.
Just make
Like,
just make Ace a legacy character.
yep, yeah. Make Ace a legacy character. Make Whitebeard a legacy character. Everyone else, time skip. Everyone else, like, because you do that, you do the Warlord, so that's another 7 characters. Like, fam, like it's
And then now you got to put their little clones in it because the clones got a whole different fighting
yeah.
style. Oh
We
no,
didn't
that
give you
ain't
Mihawk. We gave you S Mihawk because he has the powers of Mr. One and Mihawk. It's like, yo. Oh man. That's fair. That's fair. Oh man.
this version of Jinbei can actually swim and suplex you from the floor.
Yeah. Enjoy. Please enjoy. Like is what they say. Please enjoy. Um, that's most of my big topics. Of course, for our back to formula segment, the company themselves, even though Sony has said otherwise, the company themselves has sent themselves back to formula. Marathon
We need to take the whole line back to formula. Back to formula?
is now getting delayed indefinitely, but indefinitely means at least the end of the financial quarter, which could be March of next year. So let's just say 2026. Um, they're put out all the PR speak. Oh, we want to fix this and tweak that and put in all the things that we should have rolled out the first time when we announced this game. But and I'm not really expecting you to have necessarily a hot take contrasting this. But is there a world in which Marathon can do well at this point?
Nope. I mean, I get it, bro. Sony is really trying to bank off Bungie's, I would say, legacy. Um, it's just the Halo Destiny format was like, yeah, it was good for the time being, but you did see the burnout, especially on the Destiny side.
Especially on the
You
Destiny
saw the
side.
burnout because I was like, bro, every time I log on my PlayStation, I see the different version of Destiny that you could buy. My brain just fries. Like,
Hmm.
bro, what is the definitive edition? Oh, but this one is, but it's without that. I was like, but then there's this one without that. It's like, bro, just put it all together. Let some people buy it.
Hmm.
Oh, but we can't because it's extended so many years and not everybody wants this. Now, I was like, well, who fault is that?
Yeah. Yep.
And and I get it. Sony wanted a piece of that, but it's just like, bro, like I kind of feel like I know they're trying. I know they're really trying to like get back into that shooter space. But I do feel like, all right, Bungie, if you really wanted Bungie to do the job, just focus on a sci-fi shooter story. Story with some good multiplayer aspects of it.
Mm.
But like the live service stuff, I just feel like just bro, just relax. You've already proven for 2 generations that you don't have to do that.
Yeah.
And I get it, it's the common space, but you don't have to do that. Just focus on a good story with some good multiplayer and co op options. You've already proven
Mm.
that you can do that. I tell people all the time, bro, Uncharted 2's multiplayer experience was
It was a good
phenomenal.
time,
It's like,
bro. It was a
whoa,
great time. Hmm.
I was like, you did what? 3 expanded on the multiplayer in good ways. 4 felt like a very good definitive point. It was beautiful. And like,
Mm.
bro, like I said, you've proven that it could be done. Killzone, Killzone's, I would say Killzone's 2 multiplayer was the best. Killzone 3 had better maps, I would
Mm.
say. Better maps. Like you saw the different variety of the Killzone world. Like I said, Resistance 2 and 3. It's
Yep.
like they're like some of the best multiplayer experiences people have ever had. Like you've
Yup.
proven these things. So
I put some time in on Resistance 3 multiplayer, bro.
why do you feel like you have to stick to what's trendy? You don't. Like I said, man, like it's a good colorful world with like cyborg mercenaries and stuff like that. You could have built off that. You could have made like maybe like a cyberpunk esque Mirror's Edge looking universe, sci-fi, mind's eye, whatever,
Yeah.
and just put some cool multiplayer elements in it with a story. Just focus.
I
And
yeah.
maybe that's what they might do, because they kind of feel like the live service format is not going to work. I mean, you still have a base here, so let's use the
I mean,
assets to
do
the best
you?
part.
I feel like the opinions on Marathon in particular have just soured, bro. Like you have the people who don't want to play extraction shooters, right? Those are the people who are complaining about that. You have the people that are saying that while unique looking, it's not distinct enough, right? Like Cyberpunk has a distinct sci-fi look to it. Marathon is just very colorful. Granted that means different things to different people, but it's like even if you and I never play Cyberpunk, we can agree that it looks cool. It just looks cool, right? Like with Marathon, I'm like, I mean, it's better looking than Concord, but what does that mean in terms of visual aesthetics? And then so you have that where it's like there's not like a universal agreement on the aesthetics. And then you have people who are in the crowd that I'm in of like, I've never subscribed to Bungie's Destiny approach of like, we'll get there with the game. I don't understand this whole thing of like the game got good a year later. It's like, what are you talking about? Like, we'll fix it with expansions. It's like, what? Like the idea of not, like you said, of like not having a story, not having a core experience ready to go. It's like, what do you, what? Like, I don't think you're almost like you're gambling with your reputation points. Like you're rolling the dice of like, well, it's Bungie, just trust us. Like that's not a guarantee. You guys had to redo. We were there. I was there. Like you had to redo so many things for Destiny to get it into a place that people appreciated. At one point, Destiny 2 fell off of a cliff because there was an expansion pack that wasn't received well. Like it's that easy, So to me, I'm like, I don't know. I mean, Fair Games might not do it, Marathon might not do it, but to what you said of like, I just don't see how in this marketplace of the amount of variety that's presented to us on any given day, right? Of like why you would start with a live service rather than having a game that has live service elements, if that makes sense. Like not for nothing. As much as I say it through gritted teeth, it's like even if you were to do something similar to Red Dead 2, where there's Red Dead 2, and then you could buy Red Dead 2 online. Of like, if you just want this multiplayer experience, you just want this in this world, here it is. Versus we're launching this way. Everything on this game is built on the backbone of microtransactions and you paying for expansion passes and battle passes and so on and so forth.
Yeah, because even the name is kind of scary to me. Like, what you mean by marathon?
Yeah.
It means you're gonna be constantly selling stuff.
Yeah. A marathon of microtransactions, a marathon of battle passes, a marathon of skins, a marathon of like, and then of course for us as people who have been through the Street Fighter X Tekken debacle of like, so what did you have locked away behind a paywall with this game? You know what I'm saying? Like what part of your best work were you holding to put for $10 of like, oh, you like that suit? Well, wait till you see this suit. Yeah. Yeah, bro.
It's Sony right now, like PlayStation Studios. I mean, they've done some good work, man. But then there's some other times where it's just like, bro, what are y'all doing?
Yeah. Yeah. It's not, again, I'm not saying that live service shouldn't be pursued. There's obviously a market for it, right? Marvel Rivals is still doing very well. Helldivers 2 is still doing very well for the Sony side. Like there's a market for it, but there's something about their approach that's just not working. And you have to fix it. You have to fix it. Like it's only getting worse. Of like, it's getting to the point now we don't even want to see a trailer that sniffs of live service possibilities. And that's not what you want from your gaming division.
Yeah, because I get it, man. They're trying to like, expand their territories in different markets. But then, like I said, the purpose of buying a system is to see like what are your first party titles?
Yeah.
Like what do you want to bring to the table that is a different experience? Like, because I get it, yes, the third party titles, they have that type of realm on lock, bro. And it's kind of I feel like it's first of all, I feel like it's kind of late to even enter that fold.
I agree.
Like, but then you could pivot on what you like how you did for the fighting game community, where you hold all the chips.
Mhm.
You bought the biggest tournament. You bought the biggest tournament. Even on your systems, you have live tournaments on your system where people can sign up and You build a board together of like who fights who across this day, and then, they get prizes. Oh, you get avatars, you get this, you get store credit to get this and that and stuff, and that's how you pivot. You
Mhm.
pivot, like you build an ecosystem. But then this one right here, where you're trying to like basically, oh yeah, we're going to build a first party title within this type of field, but then it's like, all right, well, first of all, it's already going to be niched because it's by you. It's a Sony product, so that means it's not cross whatever to a certain extent.
Yeah,
Depend.
crossplay, all that.
So it's like, what do you do with that?
Mhm.
So, and first of all, I feel like that realm is also getting a lot of fatigue, bro. Like I said, bro, like the Fortnite formula is starting to get a little bit much now, bro.
Even in Fortnite, it's getting a little bit much.
Because it's like, bro, it's not even Fortnite no more. Like they don't build a whole Fortnite universe. Like a whole Fortnite universe, you know, Valorant was good for a time. Now I don't even hear much about Valorant no more. Like, cause Marvel Rivals has taken over,
Our rivals got Overwatch out of here, much less Valorant.
bro. Like it's like, oh yeah, here's Mark Spector, Ghost. Moon Knight, Phoenix. It's like, bro, like,
And they selling them skins, bro. Them skins are selling because those art styles are like very distinct. They look good, so it's just yeah. No, survival of the fittest. Of like, why do you want to keep getting into this again? I get it from a corporate aspect of like you don't want to confine yourself to one thing. You don't want to be the console that only provides single player experiences. Totally understand that, but it's just like you have to go into this way of like with tempered expectations, what I'll say. Of like, you're not gonna make Fortnite. It's not gonna happen. It's just not. Like Fortnite doesn't even know what made Fortnite itself. Like it's just but that's okay. Just know, like okay, if we're not gonna get that, what's a reasonable landing point that we would be okay with our game becoming? Like, and are we okay with building from there? So
yep.
yeah, so Marathon, Bungie, please go back to formula. Just back to the drawing board with y'all. For a PSS approved, even though it's technically not in the gaming space, it is an animation. Did we want to talk at all about Predator Killer of Killers?
Yes.
Okay. I know we didn't talk about it beforehand. I'm pretty sure Tim will be on board for this.
That was a phenomenal job.
I agree.
That was a very phenomenal job. Like, cause to be honest, bro, the Predator formula is very simple. Give us different time periods. The Predator shows up. To be honest, bro, like the human doesn't even have to win.
No.
Doesn't. Because the basis of the Predators is they're becoming better hunters by who they hunt. So of course, yeah, the different time periods. Oh, ninjas, Russian military, or
The Vikings and yeah.
like it's like it makes sense, bro. It makes sense. Every predator has a different personality in their armor style, their weapons, and even how they hunt.
Yeah. Yep.
Like it makes so
How
much
they
sense.
hunt in America is not how they hunt in Japan. It's not how they hunt in Scandinavia. It's not how they hunt in like okay, yeah, interesting.
That's very interesting, man. And I feel like this is a good way to bring back people into the universe. So I feel like Prey did a very good job.
Yes.
And then Hunter, Killer of Killers was a good follow up. It really was.
Yeah.
It was a great follow up. But you could tell like they're trying to experiment with different animation styles, like the way how like Star Wars did with the anime style that they did.
For the anime?
It was like a Star Wars anime style where they did like different anime styles.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. It was like
Yeah,
a almost like an anthology series. I know what you're talking about.
yeah,
Yeah. Mm.
like that stuff works, bro. It
Mm.
works because like when you really look at it, bro, like you don't like to be honest, like Predator, you don't have to really fit it in with a certain time frame. You really don't.
No.
You really don't. You really don't.
My so let me start by saying I love that movie. I was pleasantly surprised once I cut it on because I was like, of course it's getting good reviews. Metacritic, or sorry, like Metacritic, IMDb, all those places that were like rank stuff, like giving a high score. So I'm like, okay, that's usually a decent sign at least. Um, and was, hit the group chat immediately as I'm like, yo, this movie is like A1. Um, the things, I guess, to be nitpicky, right? Even though I'm giving the two thumbs up, it was good to the point of like, why didn't they just make this the live action version of the sequel? Like, why are we getting this as an animation and Dreads with the Fade Predator as the live action movie? You know what I'm saying? Like, there wasn't anything in this animated movie that was outside of the scale of what could be done in live action, in my
I
opinion.
think they're trying to fast forward to bring back AVP. I think
Eef.
they're trying to like
Okay.
really like because whatever they're trying to do with this alien verse again after Romulus and now this alien show, they're and of course no the whole Wayland Utani Easter eggs all around.
Mm,
They're definitely trying to build something for AVP very soon,
okay.
which is a little to me. I mean,
Yeah. It's like, why do we keep forcing these franchises to
because
join?
it's given Batman versus Superman all over again very quickly.
Hmm.
Like even when you really look at it, it's like, all right, you're still using Prometheus, but
Very, very loosely. Yeah.
very loosely. It is like because first of all right, after Prometheus, after Alien Covenant, so what really happened with David? Like on Romulus, how did y'all get this black goo?
Up. Yep. Yep. Yep.
You don't
Yep.
know, just watch these teenagers get slaughtered.
It's like, shh, 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 shh. Like you say in the chat, just tasers. Hey, 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 hey.
Because like for me, when I thought like, all right, Alien Romulus, I guess I thought maybe, oh well, I guess they're just gonna throw the Prometheus stuff out the window. Like, nope, here's this.
Nope.
I was like, what?
Yep. Here's a clear cut reference.
It's like, so we're using it.
Yeah.
Okay. And then say, all right, now it's greenlit for another one. But then now you got this show coming out. Like, well, it's a futuristic Earth. I was like, okay, so the aliens are now coming to Earth in the future. Okay. Um. So yeah, Prey did good. Killer of Killers, two thumbs up. Um.
What did you think, without spoiling it too much, what did you think about the various Predator designs?
Oh, exquisite.
Okay.
Very exquisite. Like, and you also showed like there's different types of predators. Like you
Yes.
have the big brutes, you have the ones who are very into technology where they're a little slimmer,
Hmm.
but don't think they weak.
Hmm. Hmm.
And then you have like the swift rush down ones like oh here comes like Wolverine and Sabretooth an alien version coming at you
Yeah. Yeah.
fast,
Yeah.
like real berserker barrage.
Mm.
And that's what I've always felt like that's where you always see the different personality of the Yautja. Like they're first their size, their armor pieces, and their weapons.
Hmm.
Like, you could tell like a bit about who they are and their personality.
Right.
The
By the
brute,
weaponry.
the
Hmm.
brute is just like the Hulk. Like he'll jump from the sky and just crush you with his feet.
Mm.
The mediums style is the traditional one. As soon as you turn around, he don't gutted you with his wrist blades. And the technological one about to snipe you like out the sky
Yeah. Yeah.
just because. And
Mm.
it shows more about who they are, bro. Like that like especially the one when they had the dog fight in the sky is like what
Yeah.
and it's like boom. Because
Yeah,
you're
like he
still
can only
like,
see a certain way in the ship. I'm like, wow,
it's like,
that's
yeah,
yeah.
bro, it makes sense because they
Hmm.
have advanced technology over you. Even the one in Prey, where like they called him the Pharaoh Predator, like even his weapons, when he fought all them rednecks, like I was like, wait, he just launched a bomb, so everybody's about to be obliterated. I was like, well, I guess the movie is done. Oh no, it's a shrapnel bomb. I was like, it's a shrapnel bomb.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
and it explains his different style. He doesn't have a plasma caster. He has a harpoon. Well, Homan harpoon gun.
Yeah.
I was like, okay. And then he also, to throw a little God of War Ragnarok, he has like a fist gauntlet, like a shield gauntlet
that
fist.
he
Like,
uses in very creative ways with the human body. Boy. Very creative.
I mean, of course, the mask, bro. The
Yeah.
mask, like,
Mm,
he turned an old trophy into his mask. It's
mm,
like you see the personality. Like even the one who used a lot of technology, like, oh yeah, he had like a little cybernetic eye. Like maybe yeah, because he's been through many battles before, and he's like, you know what? Let me enhance myself.
yeah.
So I'm in more sync with my technology.
Yeah.
So like, yeah, bro, like call him Donatello.
Of the Predator world. I actually one thing I will say too about this movie that I enjoyed, I think sometimes, and I think Romulus did a pretty good job with this also. Of like, I am totally okay with not knowing too much about these legacy alien characters. Like, even though we saw the Predator homeworld and Killer of Killers, I'm like, I still don't know how this hierarchy works. I don't know why this particular one was in charge and was able to, lead all these other ones. And to be honest, I don't really need to know why. I don't need to know how he became the head honcho. Why, like why this person, like you said, like a lot of these things you were already showing me. You were showing me the more technological advance. You were showing me the one that was a little bit lighter on their feet and prioritize stealth over direct combat. Like I don't need to know. Like even with Alien, I'm like, I don't need to know what happened to those white aliens that David was making. I don't need to know what happened to the alien that came out of the predecessor in the end of Prometheus. Like I don't need to know. Like apparently there's like a spin-off story where like it becomes part of the planet. I'm like, I don't why. Like like certain things I'm like, I don't once you start doing too much backstory, like you run the risk of like stepping on what made this cool. Like you said, the Predator, Ultimate Hunter, Alien, the perfect killing machine. That's all we need to know. Like just put them in different scenarios. That's it.
Yeah,
Yeah. So I figured that I'm like, oh, we probably have to discuss this beforehand. Like, this is a easy PSS approved. Of like, if you haven't, Killer of Killers, you don't really need. I mean, technically, it would behoove somebody to see Prey first before watching this, but it's not a necessary watch, is what I'll say.
yeah,
You could watch this without having seen Prey and still know exactly what's going on. In terms of the Predator franchise. All right. So for our last topic of the night, our anime topic of the night, and I wanted to save this for the podcast because I didn't want you to have a pre-rehearsed answer to this question. So a couple things. One, because of our talks in the group chat, it got me into reading the Pokemon manga. I'm making my way through it right now. I just hit the portion where Yellow is introduced. So I finished the initial story of Red. The miracle child Yellow, like healing Pikachu with a thought or whatever it is that he's able to do. Um,
she.
oh, so she okay. So it got me thinking as having finished Red's adventure or initial adventure, um, and all the other things that we've discussed about Pokemon over the time period. It gives me a couple of questions, but my initial question is for you: is the Pokemon anime the weakest part of the Pokemon franchise?
Yes.
Okay. I thought I was after reading
Yeah.
the manga, I'm like, I think the Ash Ketchum story is probably the worst
Yes.
aspect of the Pokemon franchise.
It is. It is like it's too gimmicky. Because bro, when I read the manga, like even like comparing like some of the parts of the manga to the games, like so you mean to tell me this is what happened in Saffron City in the manga at the Self Company compared to this? Oh, Giovanni came for the Master Ball. Like, no, bro, they fought a fusion of the legendary
The
birds.
legendary birds who were all caught by Team Rocket first. Yeah.
And, and y'all don't think this was not relevant because
Yeah. There was a couple things in the manga that was a little fantastical. A little bit like I wasn't too crazy, and I guess spoiler warning for this 20-year-old manga. Yeah, like I wasn't super crazy about Blaine and Mewtwo sharing DNA. I'm like, that's a little
it was Jurassic Park. It was Jurassic Park.
mm,
Remember the frog? Like you had to find something
to
that
fill the
can
gaps. Yeah.
to fill the gaps. It's just so it kind of didn't make sense of why, because like yes, they found a fossilized brow of Mew,
Mm.
It's not enough. And that's technically why Mewtwo is not technically a full clone of
Yeah.
Mew.
Right.
You had to add something else. So it kind of does make it does make sense. Like
I
even when they was
mm,
hunting Blaine down, like, oh, because he was defecting from Team
yeah.
Rocket and stuff like that. It's like, bro, it made a lot of sense. And then even the focus on HMs, I was
Bro,
like,
I
bro,
loved it. I loved it. I
that
loved it. I
made
love the focus on
he
HMs.
he built his team
Mhm.
around HM. Pikachu was Flash, um, Venusaur was Cut, Snorlax was Strength. The Poliwrath Gyarados part, I was like, bro, that's a little redundant. Like, you mean
Well,
this Poliwrath cannot learn Surf?
I guess it's because, like in the manga, because Bulbasaur and Pikachu spent so much time out of their Pokeballs, like having all three of them ride on Poliwrath was a little bit of a stretch. Just ride on Gyarados. How he got Gyarados was a little bit convoluted too, of like, so this is Misty's, but she traded you for it? For a Krabby.
For,
Okay.
for a crappy, bro. And then, of course, the final one, Aerodactyl Fly.
Yes. And the way he flies the Aerodactyl was hilarious. Hilarious. Just with the claws around him.
Man, certain Pokemon, it
No,
makes
no,
sense. Like,
I know, bro.
everybody can just be on Pidgeot back like that.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Like it was, that was very, I was like, that was a great story, man.
Mhm.
That was a great story. And then even see the
Even the
diff-
badges played a part. Not to cut you off,
yes,
but the badges played a
how
part.
how they're linked to like
Mhm.
the obedience level, just like how it is in the games. Like, no, bro, the reason why this Pokemon ain't really checking for you like that.
Right.
Well, like I was saying, for example, Charizard. Oh, Charizard was not checking for you like that, bro, because you did not have enough badges.
Mhm. It's not just for your accessory wall. These things mean something. These hold
Yeah,
weight. Yeah.
yeah, like they're made of like special metals that hold properties.
Mhm.
So like it makes sense. And it's like, oh, even like the places like they journey to, bro. Like, yeah, there was no Brock and Misty following you around. Cause it's like, bro, like what's the purpose of having rivals if they just come along? Like when you met Blue and Green, like Blue, Sasuke,
I didn't really like. No, blue was she was
Gary,
really
Gary's
Gary's
technically,
green, right?
well, Japanese mix up. Yeah, but blue is Gary.
Oh, so then green is the girl.
Yeah, green is the girl. But
Oh,
then in the Japanese version, like blue is green and she's blue. Like
right.
you know that
Yeah,
foolishness.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. But like no, like she's green and he's blue.
Got you. I didn't like green.
I say wait. She proves like a lot of her story develops more when you watch, because and this is what I love about the manga, because the gold and silver arcs and the heart gold soul silver arcs are connected to them too, because
Okay.
they come back, and
Okay.
then also the fire red leaf green arc. So like she has a lot of plot development that you're really going to like. But yeah,
Okay.
you know, she was a thief.
She was, bro, and an annoying thief, but and Red kept falling for it. I'm like, fam, she
She
done
was a
robbed you about 6 times already. Like,
she was a thief. She was a thief. Like she was like she didn't want to be like, I would say, like a Pokemon master like that, even though she did partake in battles.
Mhm.
And I did like the fact that her original Pokemon was Jigglypuff.
That she flew with.
So
Just
it kind of like brought back like anime
yeah,
memories.
yeah.
Jigglypuff was like kind of like the unofficial starter or like unofficial mascot to a certain point.
Yeah,
So like that was pretty cool. That was pretty cool. Yeah, Gary, Sasuke.
1000%.
Yeah,
1000%.
like the man's original Pokemon was a Scyther. Okay.
Yeah, it was, bro. It was. I was shocked at like how quickly I was reading through it. I'm like, man, no, this is pretty good. Like, and that's what made me think of the question. I'm like, I think the Pokemon anime might be the worst part about Pokemon. Like,
Yeah,
the games are
like
pretty good. The
oh,
Legend spinoffs are good. Like,
well, definitely check out the chapters on Wikipedia so you can read them in order.
okay,
Because I know they go from red, blue, and green to yellow, then gold and silver. But then I think they jump to something else, then back to heart gold, so silver, then to like fire, like they basically came out with the chapters the same time the games came out. So like the Heart
Mm.
Gold, Soul Silver chapter came out when Heart Gold, Soul Silver came out. Fire Red Leaf Green came out when Fire Red Leaf Green came out. So like read the chapters in order. But
Okay.
like it's great, man. And like I said, bro, when you start to get deep into Giovanni's personal life, like bro, like this dude on the anime is a waste man.
Mm.
Like who is this person?
Yeah, even just the way like like when him and Red faced off and he was able to count down the amount of time it would take him to throw a Pokeball, I said, yo, this is a dangerous like you could feel it of like, yo,
Bro,
he is a problem.
when the man used Fisher, the gym was destroyed.
Yeah. Bruh. Oh, I was like, wow, this is not. I mean, not everything. Again, there were certain parts of the arcs where I'm like, I wasn't too crazy about the Lieutenant Surge thing where like he turned everything into like a torture room. I'm like, this is a little red as 10. You know what I'm saying? Like you're doing a little bit too much.
It's like,
And meanwhile, Koga's sitting there trying to cut Gary into pieces. I'm like, eh. you know. But everything again, like that's two things out of the entire stretch. Everything else I enjoyed a lot.
yeah, you're gonna enjoy the yellow arc, because it's basically them versus the Elite Four terrorists,
Mm.
the eco terrorists.
I haven't gotten to their motive yet, but right now I'm at the part where Yellow ran back into Bill. So
Even Bill has a. It's like, bro, this dude is just not a one and done character. It's like, bro,
mhm.
this dude, he's part of the squad.
Yeah.
Like, it's like, bro, like like that's what I said, bro. Yeah, the anime is the weakest link, bro. The
That's a
weakest,
shame, bro. That's a shame.
the weakest. Like to be honest, like the anime for Black and White did a much better job than the games to me.
Mm.
I was like, wow, like this is what happened. It's like this makes much more sense than what they tried to sell us here twice with Black and White 2. Like, bro, this makes much more sense.
Mm.
That's what I'm telling you, bro, man. The manga's a whole different world, bro. And if they would have pulled some more from that with that Pokemon evolutions and generations anime style, bro, this could have been the best production ever. Cause like I felt it, bro. Like Ash did not need to be travel across all these generations, bro.
No.
Like, you did
And
not.
not get older.
Yeah.
Like by the
Like,
end of
no, in
uh,
the mangas you see that they get older.
yeah. Even by the time Yellow starts, Red is like noticeably older. Like time has passed a little bit. Like you could tell he's at a growth
Yeah,
spurt.
because I think like a couple of months go by.
Mm.
Like yeah, after you beat the tournament, the Elite Four accesses you to say, and they send you a letter to say, "Oh yeah, you could fight us now." So
Mm.
basically, you have to climb the ranks, which makes sense.
I liked it, bro. Like I said, I'm on Yellow now. I plan on reading more.
How'd you feel about that Safari Zone chapter?
It was great. It was because it reminded me of how I felt as a kid playing the games of like you can't bring your Pokemon. Here's some Safari balls. Good luck. Like what?
It's like bro, like it's like Jurassic Park, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Mm-hmm.
oh, here comes this Nido King coming at you full force.
The
What do you
Victor Bell
do?
have a ritual. I'm like, oh my goodness, bro. That poor Rattata. Like just I also did like the progression of like Team Rocket software over the time, like when they made the device that had EV transform depending on the danger it was in. I'm like, this was a good idea. They should do more with this. Like this was fire, actually.
Yeah, and that's the same Eevee that turns to Espeon, hence the Espeon
Mm,
that he had.
man, I'm gonna keep reading. I was just like, I think again, I do think Pokemon does itself a disservice by only catering to the kid market. I think I'm like you have enough material here to hit the people who started with this series and the people who are just getting into it. Like it's all here. You just you. I don't know. It's kind of like it's like if I wanted to show my child in the future Digimon, it's like I could still show them Digimon Adventure before I show them, whatever comes up Digimon afterwards. Like it's not like they're gonna accidentally stumble across, I don't know, like Omnimon punching a hole through Diaboromon's head. Like that's just not. It's not then like you're not risking anything by like showing a more a mature version of these things. like Dory always jokes about. It's like, yo, Kyogre killed that man. That man is dead. Like it's not. It ain't. He didn't get washed away. He is gone.
Kyogre, Kyogre and Groudon
Yeah,
killed them.
they're dead. Yeah, and I guess I mean you kind of somewhat answered my second question, but my second question was gonna be: is Ash Ketchum the worst protagonist in the
Yes,
Pokemon franchise? Yeah,
he is the worst.
yeah.
He is no, to be honest, bro. The anime is complete foolishness. It's
Mm,
like it's meant for like child service. Like even this new one, Horizons. Like there are some cool elements in it, but it's too kiddish.
mm,
Too kiddish. It's too kiddish, and you could tell that the series hit a fatigue, so they're trying to give this lukewarm version just for Netflix views.
yeah.
It's like a lot of people was upset, like all right, so you finally go to Great Britain, a land based off Great Britain, and so since Ash is technically a champion now, he doesn't have to go through any gym leaders anymore. Here's this ultimate challenge that he just has to do, and he wins it all. I was like, but he won the Orange League. He was technically already a champion, and you did multiple ones. Oh, but then here comes the record. Oh, the Orange League was an official Pokemon. Bro, it's called the Orange League.
Mm,
It's what they said it was one of the oldest Pokemon leagues in the world. Hence why they still follow their indigenous customs. Like, oh yeah, the first gym leader, you have to beat her in a water race. The second one, you have to climb this mountain and make a ski and get it down before he does. The
mm,
third one, the third one, I forgot what he had to do, but the fourth one was a traditional battle, and then you fight this trainer with a Dragonite, since Dragonite was like a god back then,
mm.
like Lance's cousin, whatever. Have a good day.
Yeah,
And he
yeah.
had a great team too. When I
Mm,
really saw the team that I was like, bro, that is actually a very, very interesting team.
mm.
So it was yeah, the anime is the weakest link, man.
It's
It's like they get to
crazy.
the point they don't even know what to do. Like even this Horizon stuff, like yeah, they're in the Spain region, but they ain't really doing nothing in the Spain
Mm,
region. It's like so you went through all these regions, all the way up to Hawaii, and then afterwards you just said like, yeah, it's time to get rid of these kids. But then you bring in more kids, but you don't really know what to do with them. Like I said, that other kid that Ash was with, who was just capturing all these Pokemon with regular Pokemon,
a,
like,
a
bro,
TV prodigy,
just I was like, bro,
a
what is
natural
this,
born
bro?
genius.
Like, this man is not even battling them. He just tossing whole Pokeball at like, and he's like, I was like, bro, this can't be Pokemon, bro. And it's like, yeah, that Pokemon Netflix era, that was just pitiful.
Mm,
Like I said, bro, Pokemon evolutions, generations, like there's a beauty here that I just feel you just need to build on. Even the one that they got taken away, like Origins, like something that's based off the game formats. Like, bro, y'all have something here. Like, I'm still waiting to see a fleshed out story of Giovanni and his son.
mm.
Like that is gold that y'all are just sitting on. That y'all just like that is just like, bro.
Yeah,
Okay,
you could, and the thing is about that's weird about it is you could feed both fan bases because you have us who would appreciate one a more updated animation style, but with the story that we're most familiar with of like, there's a reason why there's a put it like this. There's a reason why when people bring out the emulators, the games that get played the most are the old Pokemon games. Is Blue, Red, and Emerald constantly. Like, there's a reason why. Like, you can tap into that market base.
or I'll even update this: Fire Red, Leaf Green, Heart Gold, Soul Silver, and Emerald.
Mm, hmm
And then our honorable mention, Platinum, because those were the definitive experiences for all four regions.
Yeah. Yeah, hey, bro. All I'll say is I understand now. Having read it, I'm like, oh, okay. Here's what actual good Pokemon storytelling looks like. I was unaware. I didn't I didn't know it could get this good. So yeah, I just wanted to make that the animation focus for tonight. 'Cause I'm just like, man, this is again. I'm ready to read through. Like again, Yellow's powers seem a little bit odd. I'm like, I hope there's not some random.
It is, but
Oh God.
just finish it. Just finish
Okay,
it.
okay,
Because they course corrected very quickly. After that chapter, they don't really do nothing with her else.
okay. Because
Because
I'm like,
it was just too gimmicky.
yeah. Like I
Because
pick up
they needed
Pikachu and
something. They needed something for Pokemon Yellow version that came out. Like, oh, we need to make another character. We need to do something.
which is fine.
It just
Even the whole premise of like her going to get going to go find Red, like that's fine. But it's just the all the like I can hear the feelings and the voices of the Pokemon. It's like what? What does that have to do with you being a Nurse Joy on the go? I don't understand. Like this that doesn't make any sense to me. Why? Yeah. Well, Japanese manga, right? What can you do? So that's going to wrap us up for tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Once again, this is another episode of the Press Start Select podcast. Please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. We do try our best to at least acknowledge all the comments that come in. We've started to see the increase again in subscribers. The general increase in video views is very encouraging stuff. Shout out our boy Kerry. Kerry always giving us the encouraging comments, always putting the battery in my back. So that being said, Mikhail, got a last note for the people for the night.
like, share, comment, and subscribe.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Until
All
next.
platforms: Facebook, Twitter, YouTube. We're trying to really grow this. So please, give us your support.
Yes. I mean, it don't take much to like. A like goes a long way. Like people say, oh, it's always this thing of like, oh, they're just saying that. Like, no. I've seen what a video does for us when we get likes and actual engagement. It's like, oh, yeah, this ain't just talk. So you heard the man, ladies and gentlemen. Like, comment, subscribe. We're trying to grow across these platforms. We're trying to create the independence for ourselves that we talk about in the group chat. We don't this whole thing of like we want to get out of the rat race at this point. Help us. Hey, there's no pride here. Help us get there. But till then, I am Antonius the Gamer, Mikkel Smith. This is the Press Start Select podcast. Until next time, peace.